Engage.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Slow to impulse speed.
Stay calm, everyone. What is going on here, number one?
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Strange.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
I shouldn't be so confident.
I'm picking up an unusual disturbance in the nearby quadrant.
Stay calm, everyone.
I shouldn't be so confident.
Engage. On screen.
What the hell is going on?
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Strange. Make it so.
I don't know.
No response, sir.
Enlarge and identify.
In my opinion, sir, they're gibberish.
I'm picking up an unusual disturbance in the nearby quadrant.
Engage.
Move to intercept.
I shouldn't be so confident. Slow to impulse speed.
I would rather outthink them than outfight them.
Slow to impulse speed.
Stay calm, everyone.
I shouldn't be so confident.
Let's investigate. Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough! Engage. Let's investigate. Engage.
Slow to impulse speed.
Previously on Timelines Talks.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after about an hour of testing settings, we are here to open Captain Hank McCoy's packs.
We are in search of one wharf.
URG Ben's developer pack was very gracious to include Finn's favorite character.
Alright, okay, come on.
Right in the door. Hit me.
Q. Oh, Soup Picard.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good start.
Man, you get a lot of beholds.
Yeah,
wait, Worf's parents. Hello, if anyone's gonna bring Worf, it's gotta be his parents. Right?
No, I don't want them. No, you know what? Let's take Enterprise E Picard in honor of Ben.
Right.
Come on, luck of the Ben. Come on. Yeah, no, I'm not happy about this. This is way too much. Come on. It's a mixture between extremely excited and terrified. God damn it, Q! I am in a glass case of emotion right now.
Nope.
Come on, please. What the fuck? Why?
Right.
Come on, luck of the Ben. Come on. In honor of Ben. What the hell is this? Come on!
The switch is stuck on Saru.
I don't look, you can't hurt me. Oh, it's not gonna happen. Shut up. No, don't. I can't watch.
It is down to fate now.
I feel bad. I feel like I'm gonna be sick.
Oh, we have a hold.
This is...
Are you making
Fuck
more...
it, I don't care.
What?
The Binar, take the Binar, I don't care.
Binar for good luck? Saru.
Assimilate this.
And now, the conclusion.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show where the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timelines Talk. Featuring guest stars. Worf action figure collector, Kapla! It's stars and garters! More like Command Dip suck. Look out, it's Automaton 2000! We keep blowing him up and he keeps coming back. It's Wicked Realm Games Ben! And now, there's no way he gets this intro right. Here's your host, Captain Idle!
Yes, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Timelines Talks, the #1 premium exclusive show for all things Star Trek Timelines. This week I am joined by my ever faithful co-hosts Automaton 2000 and Stars and Garters, and joining us for a very special third appearance is Wicked Realm Games' brand new Associate Product Manager, his third outing here. Please everybody welcome Wicked Realm Games' Ben. Thank you for joining us.
All hail, Ben!
Of course.
And congratulations on your
Thanks for having me
promotion.
on. Thank you.
Oh no, it's good to have you back. Well, since you've had your promotion, is it now less work, more putting your feet up on the desk, ordering people down? You go there, do that.
It's never less work. Never less work.
Never less work. But how are you keeping anyway? All things good over in
Yeah,
Team
yeah,
Wicked Realm?
everything is great. This, this transition for me into this new role has been amazing. My manager is amazing, so the whole learning process of learning how to do new things that I haven't done before has been really easy and really exciting, and really refreshing too. So, yeah.
Excellent.
There's a large number of anonymous call-ins, mail-ins, write-ins to your manager insisting that you get promoted. If there's one thing Trek fans do, it's mail-ins to to keep things going. So
Keeps going.
They are how do they diplomatically put it? Devoted. We have a devoted fan.
crazed fans.
No.
That's a good way to put it. Devoted,
Yeah,
passionate,
Yeah.
passionate.
Yeah.
Institutionalized.
They are full of feelings.
Otto, you had something.
Well, let's start with the beer. What do you? Because last time he blew us all away with Space Metal Dinosaur. So let's see if he can one up himself.
So, I spent way too much the other day buying craft beer at the local store. This is the one I'm drinking right now. It's called Tipping Point. I don't know if you can see it, but and I had to get it because I've seen on the forums so many times.
Yeah.
It's Tipping Point, not Tilting Point. So had to get that. The art's really cool. I did bring 2 others just to show you the art because I thought it was cool. Probably not going to get to drink them today, but
Well, you never know.
wood shop, some wood shop, and then probably one of my favorite art, Doggo.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So
Bella flavor. Very cute.
yeah.
Okay, well, I had to outdo you after last time. So in the spirit of good old American bigger is better, I have a 1 liter can the size of my head. I have a 1.5 liter bottle even bigger than my head.
Oh my God.
And as someone wise once put, if less is more, think how much more will be. So I have an entire advent calendar of beer. 24
Still
beers.
full?
Yes, and we tried to get them on in December so that I could drink one for every day of the month.
That is amazing.
So, that
You are
box
devoted,
has
sir.
It has its own art for every little window into the beer. So I think I'll begin with
That's
1
really
liter and work my way up tonight.
Also, in the history of this show, there's only ever been one host that's disappeared off camera, and then we've been like, is he dead? And I feel like there's no one who, I feel like that there's no one who can come close to challenge you on that.
Okay.
I don't think you want to. All right.
Okay. Quick scheduling notice before we get started. Ben, I believe you're actually going to join us again fairly soon within the next month. We haven't set an exact date yet. We're going to be answering more questions for everyone that didn't make it in this week. And also we'll be accepting more questions for next week. But potentially you're also going to be showing us something else next time.
Yes, I will be showing you guys the big, shiny Q1 new feature. We'll be doing a playthrough of that. And have some discussions about it. What do you guys think about it? And then hopefully to start releasing the features the week after.
Fantastic. So that will be next time. We'll hopefully do that soon within the next month. Obviously, I think you want to do that when you're a bit closer to release. But for now, we're going to do questions. We're going to be talking more about the Convergence Day, the anniversary, and a few other questions the community had.
Before we do that, I just want to I want to show off.
Oh yes, please
our
do.
official logo. So, Wicked Realm Games. We have this little birdie guy with a little skull on and a crown. His name is Wick. He is awesome. So we recently just got these sweatshirts around Christmas.
I'm calling him John.
Now that our logos are finalized, and we also got nice hats, little crowns on.
Nice.
And the quality is amazing. They're Carhartt. So
if you see us next week all decked up in Wicked Realms Games gear, you know what's happened.
And if you too, if you wish to be dressed like a Timelines Talks host, then
no, we got our own merch store to compete with. You can't cut in on that.
Timelines Talks spandex has been a big seller for us.
Indeed. Otto, you had a quick question before we start with the main one.
Yeah, I wanted to open a question that it's not one that we sent to you ahead of time, Ben, because frankly, I knew it wouldn't get approved, but it's something that is really quite important. I think the players are really looking for an answer to this one. So, how do you feel about the first losing season in 20 years for the New England Patriots? They're not going to make the playoff. They have a losing record. Without Tom Brady, you guys are dead in the water.
It's too soon. It is too soon.
Is this sports?
Sports ball. Yeah.
Sports ball.
Yes, it's sports ball. I too follow the sports ball. It is going well.
Go team.
I can't believe they
podcast Otto.
Yeah, all right.
A beer and football podcast.
Yeah, sure.
And I'll come on and I'll say I can't believe they walked in off the pitch.
A home run on the hole in one. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? That's par for the basketball court, right?
Yeah, for any football fans, Ben is a New England Patriots fan, so we commiserate. It's hard to leave 20 years of success behind, but I'm sure you'll manage.
Okay. Enough of the stuff we can't do in lockdown because we're all under such strict restrictions now. A lot of people are going, I wish I could go outside. Right. So the first question, the first set of questions are from us, then we'll go into some community questions. So, Ben, about Adira, the big Adira thing that happened recently, what we want to know is kind of what happened there. The conclusion that came out satisfied a lot of people, obviously. We're getting the new toweled Adira plus appearing in achievement rewards, similar to Luau Paris. And a lot of people are very satisfied about that, ourselves included. But is there anything you can do to further clarify about why the art swap had to happen in the first place?
Yeah. So sometimes there are specific restrictions and rules to a character's release. And this was one of those situations where we had to make a change because of it. The license holder asked us when getting approval for both versions of Adira that the towel Adira not to be the first Adira to be released. Okay. And obviously we realized this a little too late, but we still had to make the change. There's nothing we could have done about it. We had to make that change because it was against the rules. So it wasn't a good scenario for anyone, and we do apologize for the mix-up. But we understand the effort and the time that everyone took to try to get the card that they thought they were, and we took that into account in all aspects of how the player was affected from time and resources, and that's how we came up with the resolution that we did. So. Yeah, just the result of that, the server after we changed the name to EDF Adira, removed the flavor text, musician trait replaced by saboteur, and shipability name change. And then in addition to that, based on the leaderboards for the Stitch Saves 9 event, I believe is that one, we'll be awarding the new towel version of Adira. The art that was initially shown to the players who ranked 1 to 1,500. And the number of copies awarded will be consistent with the rank that was achieved in that event. So we're really happy you guys are at least accepting of the compensation. But this is we had a big meeting after this one to really sit down and be like, all right, something is not working with our process if this happens. So just taking a step back and realizing how this happened, and then set up ways to prevent it from happening in the future. So the new version of Adira, starting February 3rd, will be made available to everyone via 3 temporary achievements, with goals that should be achievable, easily achievable.
Similar to Luau.
Please note. Sorry, say that again.
Similar to Luau Paris, who's the
yes.
current achievable. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Please note for this that this is a one-time thing. This specific crew will be released with pre-existing first to max information. So, and this is to preserve the original first to max for Adira that occurred before the art change. And to put this topic to rest, I guess. Like I said, we had a big meeting about it, figured out how it happened, why it happened, and then we made process adjustments to prevent it happening in the future. So it was a worst case scenario for both us and the players, and we definitely did not take this lightly. So
is Christmas week pretty much the worst case scenario for something like that's happening? Like how many people? How many people were at home with their families when that happened?
We had a few people had to come in, and a lot of people were out during that midweek between Christmas and New Year's as well. We had some people on and people that were on call, but yeah, it's never good during the holidays to have to call people in.
I think there was a few people on on forums, various medias going, they need to do something about this now, and a few of us just like, hang on, it's Christmas. Like, personally myself, I wasn't expecting anything till about now, until the new year when everyone's back into the cycle of work. But the fact that everyone came out, some from Shan to say, what they're doing to resolve this, I thought that was, that soon after the event was actually a really good.
Yeah, I mean, we had conversations about it. Be like, do we do this now? Do we call people to get this resolved now? And we're like, you know what, this has been a year, so. Let people enjoy their time with their families, and we'll come back and we'll address it as fast as we can. So,
and thank you for doing that as well. Thank you for coming on here and giving us that explanation, which is I think more than sort of a few developers would do in the situation as well.
Yeah, I was on the edge of giving that much information, but you guys deserve it. We messed up, and you guys should know why. So that's why.
Yeah, thank you very much. Otto?
I think you're up next then. You wanted to ask about, well, I'll just steal the question from you then. Since it's already written down.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, we wanted to ask about the community reward target. This last, it was a 10 billion for the last threshold for the community rewards for this Convergence Day event. I think we ended up with 4.7 billion. So we were just shy of halfway. And since we can't go a week without drama, this chafed several players. I mean, it's fair to ask what were they thinking is, I think, the community sentiment. So what happened with that? I mean, was it a test or?
Yeah, so the original goal for this was to make the community reward somewhat challenging, but we also wanted it to be achievable. Now this is our first time kind of experimenting with the community rewards there. To the scale, and the requirements for those community rewards were indeed set too high, and as a result cannot be achieved. So upon examination, we identified that the data we used to set those requirements up was incorrect. So going forward, that should no longer happen.
Was someone
but to
leaning
rectify
on
the situation,
was someone leaning on the 0 key when that happened? And
yeah. Well, we have lots of data that we don't make a decision without looking at data to making sure that we're not messing anything up. So we pulled the data down, and it was we thought it was we were interpreting it one way, but it was actually being delivered another way. So but to rectify the situation, we're sending you within mail one Convergence Day Quark. I believe we sent that out yesterday. In the time portal, you should also find a free special Convergence Day pack, claimable twice. It's granting 10x Convergence Day event packs. So I get 2 of those.
Excellent.
Which I think is 4 extra pulls than what was in the community rewards.
Yeah.
Than the rewards that were missed. So yeah.
No, thank you for that. Now we've interrogated you. Let's get on to the good stuff. Let's get to the community questions.
Well, hold on, because we love doing gotcha questions on this show. Is that something, the extended rewards, that we might see in the future theoretically? Or is this just sort of an anniversary type deal?
This was an anniversary type deal. I don't know if we can even look at the data to see if it really worked or not, because we set it up wrong. So maybe we'll experiment this with this.
I think you got up to 6 billion community points for that one. So
I believe you guys made it up to that. Yeah. But I'm not going to rule it out. But we have no plans to do that.
Okay.
Again, right now.
Okay. If no one has anything else, we'll get on to the community questions now. Thank you everyone that submitted questions. As we said, we are doing another community Q&A with Ben here in about a month's time. So if your question wasn't answered this time, chances are we've put it in the pile for next time. And also, if you have anything more you want to say, we have a dog.
I have a question from the community.
Yeah.
What is that dog's name, and how can I send them virtual pets?
Is this the new avatar? Harley. Sorry, go on.
This is Harley. She is a miniature Yorkie.
Oh.
and she's actually 15 years old.
Wow.
So she's an old lady.
My word. Don't look
And
at
this is
She's
her
a
adorable.
dignified and lovely old
So
lady.
tiny.
You know how they say owners start to look like their pets after a while? Never mind.
Okay, if you want to
That's
submit
the
some
beer
more,
talking, it's not me.
if you want to submit some questions for next month's interview, you can email us at timelinestalks@gmail.com. Go to the forums, DM myself, Auto, or myself, Auto. I don't think you're on the forums, are you, Stars? Or
What's a forum?
okay, and you can also DM me or Auto on the main Timelines Discord if you join. So if you've got any questions, send them through that way, and we'll pile them on for next month. For our first question is from George Bora via email, and we asked this one last month. We're hoping for a bit of an update, but is there any word on if or when we will get some Star Trek Lower Decks characters in the game?
So we did an evaluation of bringing Lower Decks characters into the game, and we even did a few art tests. I believe I mentioned that last time. But at this time, Lower Decks is unavailable to us as of right now.
That is a shame, but okay.
Is that an issue of licensing, or just a case of like you don't think you can get it to mesh?
I guess it's a few things. It comes down to the license holder. It also comes down to if we think it is a good business decision to invest in that license too. So yeah.
Okay.
Idle is crushed. No one has wanted Lower Decks more than Captain Idle.
This show is over.
Let's go back to the Adira questions. This is awful.
Let's go back to the depressing side. I'm even more depressed now. Jeez. Okay. I'm sure there are a few people that might be disappointed by that, but do you think there might be a reasonable avenue for Lower Decks in the future? Is this something you're still working on?
I wouldn't rule it out.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe we'll revisit it in a few months and see. But yeah, as of right now, that is a no-go.
Okay. No, thank you. The next question is from and everyone knows my pronunciations are absolutely terrible, Sonumtubae from Discord. Hey Idle, I have a question for WRG Ben Q&A livestream that might have already been asked. When will we see, and this has already been half asked, but when will we see show megas, like the original Disco Mega for shows like Picard, Lower Decks? Obviously we know now that Lower Decks is not coming, but will we see possibly any more sort of true Picard megas? Because the last two Picard megas we had were not the Picard crew, they were just sort of trait megas. So are we going to see something that will actually deal with Picard crew being a bonus?
Yeah, so you're talking about the series, right?
Exactly, yes. No,
yeah,
so the character would be fine as well. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, the way we have our hidden traits actually set up when making an event makes it very difficult for us to use a series trait for a event or a mega arc. There's a few reasons to that. We've done this a few times, but there's a lot of extra work that's involved with it because comms has to list out all the individual crew because the series traits are not searchable in the crew quarters or in Cryo. So comms has to individually, Shan has to list out all the bonuses for that week for 4 weeks straight, and the amount of work just grows substantially there. So each character, I guess behind the scenes of this, each character has a few hidden traits, and one of those hidden traits is the series that the crew is in. And unable to search for them makes it just more frustrating for the player as well.
Okay.
Not knowing which crew, right, without reading a big list. As for making those hidden traits searchable, we've talked about doing that in the past, and I definitely wouldn't rule it out, but it would need a little bit of engineering work.
Okay.
So if that's something that the live ops team wants to start doing more of, then it would require that work. But depending on the series, some of them, we have a lot of crew from individual series, and either sometimes the crew pool, can be too big for the event. We want to balance out the event crew bonus pool, not being too big or too small. So there's a little bit of balance there.
Is this
usually crew variants? Yeah.
Sorry, is this why the last disco, essentially last Discovery Mega, didn't actually have the disco bonus tag like previous ones did because the pool was too large and it was a bit of a nightmare to list everyone.
Yeah, and we just didn't have time to go that route. So it's something we've talked a lot about. It makes sense to do that, but it also comes down to how many crew we want to have bonus in the event. So yeah, there's some design there as well.
I think you saved me from having to that question about the cryo, because that pops up week to week too. You have characters like Picard, who has Galen and Tommy Gun Dixon, and you can't search them for that invisible Picard tag if they have it. So something like that, I mean, you have my support for it, because it would help out week to week, not just the big megas as well.
Yeah, we have to do a pass of all the crew and what their hidden traits are, because some of the hidden traits we use for some of our backend things, right? So, and then we can't call them hidden traits anymore because they're not hidden. So we'd have to, so there's some work we'd have to do there.
Shrouded traits. You can have new terminology for
cloaked traits. There you go.
Mysterious traits.
All right, we'll get that list to you later. Up next, from Dirk Gunderson on the forums. He asks, will new locations from Discovery, Picard, and/or Lower Decks, boy, people like that, Lower Decks, will they be added? Will existing undiscovered or grayed out locations be populated with places to visit? Any thoughts on some of the ideas that have floated around regarding resetting the galaxy map? Or could that be the veteran-friendly feature referred to? Perhaps a new set of distress calls, or even another episode. So he's asking basically about the galaxy map that you see en route to checking your voyages.
Yeah, so back in the day, we had a few design docs of a faction battling system on the galaxy map, right? I think that's what this player is asking about. For a veteran-friendly feature. That's not what this the quarter one feature is. That's something that we just have ideas about. We don't have any intentions of moving forward with them as of right now, but that would be awesome. But no new locations at this time. New locations are a lot of work to create, and they can become pretty complex when developing and testing. And testing on all different variants of devices and resolutions and min spec, high spec. So I believe the last location we added was the Glass Planet. I think that was the last one a few years ago. But if we were to, yes, yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
If we were to add a new location, we'd probably want to have something to do there, like a new distress call in our episode. We wouldn't just add a new location for no reason. It would have to have a purpose. We do have a distress call written, but not designed or QA tested. Okay. And I don't know if we would create a location for that new distress call. Depends on what that story is.
Is just to hijack that comment, because we spoke about the distress call previously. Is that something that's in the works quarter one, or is this now is that something that's coming a bit later? We don't have a timeline for it as of right now. Okay. We have other things that are higher on our priority list, but it's still on the backlog. It's all written. It just needs some design time and a lot of QA time. Cool. Stars?
That's me. So this is a question from Muad'Dave, who I think still has one of my favorite usernames. And he says, thanks for wrangling another session with Ben. I have some questions. He is a little bit hard to nail down, it's true. Is there an updated date for the features announced as coming soon, i.e. a new game mode, new episodes, mini events to news, the new event portal, etc.? There's also two other parts to this question, but I think we're best to stagger them.
Yeah. So I have some news and some bad news. So first we'll start with bad news. Due to our focus changes to mandatory SDK upgrades and a lot of non-player facing changes, we had to deprioritize mini events and objective events. I don't think any of us are happy about it, but that's just the way the development goes sometimes. So it hasn't been cut. It's just been put back on the backlog. Now, if you all remember, a few months ago, we built the event hub. So we could have more events scheduled, which would pave the way for the mini events and objective events. We still plan to get ahead and to have 2 events scheduled in the event hub at once, hopefully starting this month if all goes well.
Okay.
So what that means is one event that is in the active phase and another event that is in an announce phase, both live in that event hub. So it just gives you guys, more time to strategize and not have to directly go to the forums to get that information a week early. It'll just be right in game. Yep. Event rewards. Yep. I have a lot of other. This question is super broad.
Yeah, it is.
Features. So I just have a list of features. I'm just going to run down.
Don't let us stop you.
So things we've already talked about. Event reward structure change. Still aiming for February. This will be with our new Q1 feature. I almost just said the feature's name, so that's terrifying. Going to be also
tell us, it's fine. We won't tell anyone. There's no one else here.
We're going to be adding some ranks and buckets to the ranked reward structure. So instead of the buckets being pretty wide right now, they're going to be narrowed down a little bit, so we can get more specific with the different reward changes per level. And that leads to more options and more variety, and in more of a drive for the player to try to get to that next level. And also maybe some different stuff available in the event rewards that might be a surprise. New episodes. We don't have any new episodes planned. We still have that distress call that's written, but it's still on our radar, but it needs QA, and it needs design. There's no time frame on that as of right now. So last time I was on, we talked about there's a big feature for Q1 of this year. We are currently on schedule and planning to start to turn each feature or multiple features on in mid-February.
Multiple.
So in total, for the next client, we have a QOL feature, which I think might be my favorite QOL feature that we've done. So when tapping on a crew icon that you see either in the Cryo Vault, Dabo, or when pulling a pack, you will see the crew's full detail stats, which include fully equipped, fully fused, level 100 stats, and 1 out of 4 fused, fully equipped, level 100 stats. Traits, also ship ability, and where you can in-game obtain the crew. And you can hit a button to take you to that certain pack or feature. So let's say you come across a crew that is only in the honor hall. If you go to the cryostasis, look at that crew, open up the details panel, and it'll just say, this crew is available in the honor hall. Tap here and go right to it. So, giving the player a little more flexibility and just more information on where they can get these crew in game or what pack they can get them if they're in an LTO. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one.
Can I ask then, does that change dynamically? Say someone wanted Shinzon very bad and they were in a pack that week. If you click that button, will it take you to the pack? And then the week after, it would take you back to the time portal for the regular premium packs, or what?
Yes, so there would be a few options there depending on what the crew is. So premium portal, that's one of them. If the crew is in a theme pack or an event pack, I believe we have committed to getting that work in for that for release of this feature. So it'll say this is in a pack in the time portal or an event pack. Click the button and it'll take you to the time portal.
Yeah, so just before we continue, everyone is like, "Oh, new features, new episodes." And it's like, I hear quality of life changes, and I'm like,
yeah, that one was due for sure. Other cool things in our next client, which we are 8.0 client. The big new juicy Q1 feature I keep talking about. A reorganization of the HUD to support the big new feature, and some other goodies. I can't talk about the big new feature today, but what I can say about it is that it is a huge game changer, and I haven't been this excited for a new feature since Voyages. So I think everyone will really enjoy it once it's had its full dev time. Yeah. And we're already planning a big addition to the quarter one feature in a few months after this client releases. So quarter two, quarter three will be another update that adds to the big feature experience.
So next time you're on, will the viewers be able to actually see the feature in game and see you mess around like you did with the event hub?
Yes, yeah, they'll see the first part of it.
Yeah. So for a reminder for everyone anyone that's just dropped in, we said at the beginning, Ben is going to come on in another month or sometime early February, late January, and you'll be actually showing off this new feature in that setting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and by deprioritizing many events, that just gave us time and resources to focus on the urgent things, but also make sure that quarter one feature stays on course and to be released quarter one of this year. And that just gave us more flexibility to, pull in other things to support that feature, additional work that, maybe we couldn't have gotten before, but we were able to do that. So, yeah.
Cool. Moving on slightly. This is not a question, but Muad'Dave has noticed that customer service has improved since the Wicked Realms tipping point change. Oh,
I do have a lot of other things to talk about.
Oh,
we haven't finished.
So
keep going.
So on the last thing of the quarter one feature, you guys know me by now. I have a little cipher for you guys.
I was about to say we haven't had one yet. I was wondering when it was coming.
Yeah, you knew it was coming. Yeah, I'm hoping this will take you guys, the community, longer than 6 hours to solve. But so ZEKVIJKVCCRI space DVUZLD. And if someone could just make a thread of that somewhere on the forums, and if you guys are struggling too hard with it, I may end up helping you guys out. But
I feel like we accidentally invited the Zodiac Killer on the show, and he's like giving us these super complicated ciphers.
Oh, hang on, I'm getting a phone call from the police. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's here.
I
have to make a request. Whenever Ben comes on, we have to have like a filter that you can put over my screen whenever he starts saying things like that, and it's just the math equations and scientific formula just exploding everywhere because I hear that and
Okay, we'll repeat that one later, but okay. I'm looking forward to seeing what this is. I think it was a very friend of the stream, El Mato, who decrypted the first one, so this should be a good challenge for him. I've got him as a mod on the stream, so you're not excused yet. Anyway, please.
I think there were two other parts to that question.
Any more?
Okay, yeah. I didn't want to keep on talking over in case there was more here. No features? What is this kind of game? So Muad'Dave wanted to basically say that customer service has improved since the Wicked Realms tipping point change, and he wants to thank you. You specifically, I assume. No one else has anything to do with it.
No, but that's awesome to hear. Really, really good to hear.
Yeah. And third part, how hard is it to make seemingly minor changes like traits or unusual items found in character builds? Things like the 1-star Will Riker having the Trill trait, for example, is the kind of thing that drives some of us Trek nerds crazy. I don't want to complain about something easy if it's actually not, but if it's easy and thus low priority, that's different. That's quite a question.
Yeah, thank you for asking if this fix is easy or not. On the forums, it's easy. It's easy fix. They should just do it. And I'm like, no, that'll actually take 3 weeks for 2 engineers. And yeah, so I appreciate you asking. That's awesome. But yeah, it's, specifically with that change, with the trait change, it is fairly easy to fix those bugs, but it really does come down to how big of an impact will the change have. So for a 1-star crew like Will Riker, it won't really make a big impact. And so that bug turns into a very low priority for us. So, but for new crew release, usually, if we get, crew releases, we get community feedback that day, either we'll push a hot fix or, we'll adjust it in the next week's server. So yeah, it's just a lot of those older crew. that are just lower priority now.
So we already have someone in chat who claims they have decoded this Zodiac cipher.
Oh no, what is it?
Bold claim.
Anyways, let's keep trucking.
Oh wow, you got it already.
Yeah.
Oh,
is that
Oh,
correct?
okay.
So
Wow, Commander Sinclair.
Yeah. Well done, Commander Sinclair.
So on the forums, I think yesterday there was a post or a thread about a new file that was called quantum something currency. So quantum is a currency that you'll see in the next client that goes with our Q1 feature. But there's not just one new currency, there's two. So the other one is interstellar medium.
Oh, we have so many questions now.
Yeah, no,
I knew you would, and I can't answer any of them.
Well,
I love you, Ben, but you are a scoundrel.
Community question come in about interstellar medium, asking if you can explain what that does, please.
No, I'm sure we'll get to that next month, I believe, if that's related to the new feature. But
I'm actually amazed. Commander Sinclair, how did you do that so quickly?
Little did you know he's a CIA cryptographer.
Please show your work to the class.
Yes. He'll be on next week to explain how he cracked.
To explain the decoding process, yeah. This next question is from Marcus Thornborough, and he was wondering if we could ask Ben if there will be a future possibility of getting citations easier than the normal 50k honor, like maybe high-end event awards. This feels like a slightly roundabout way of asking about honor sales, so...
Yeah, so I'm just going to come out and say it. No honor sale planned for this month.
Okay.
I know it's anniversary, but we have some other cool things planned. Yeah. So we've tossed around a few ideas, but nothing really stuck with us around having citations easier to get than the normal 50k honor. But I wouldn't be opposed to it for sure. But it definitely has to be a solid reach or a grind to get them. So yeah, I mean, I guess I want to ask you guys, where would you guys like to see legendary citations as rewards?
Well, like the one that he mentioned there, about like a very high-end event reward, like maybe if you reach a top 50 or a top 100, you get a purple citation. Maybe if you hit number 1, you get a legendary. I feel like that would be an acceptable amount of work, as it were. Otherwise, like maybe more achievements that are long-term for the game, potentially. I could see that being a more viable long-term goal.
I would assume this is not possible and will take a lot of QI engineer work, but maybe in a Be Gold. Something like that, because I'm trying to think of what occurrence chance would be right. And I'm thinking maybe Gauntlet as the rare reward there. You might get maybe one of those a month, some low chance, but that you still will see it from time to time if you're playing regularly. So.
I think, the amount of people that have played Gauntlet enough that have got like 3 or 4 copies of Armus, or even those that have got more than 2 copies of Red
I don't know how. That's just crazy to me. But I can't get them.
It's your random number generator. You picked it. Come on. Maybe once it hits a certain threshold, they say, okay, look, I don't want... I could cash these sort of in for maybe like a 5/5 Armus for a site or something like that, because at that point they're essentially 550 honor, which doesn't seem like a fair... In my eyes, anyway, it doesn't seem like a fair trade just to go, I've got this limited edition crew, but I've got like 70 of them.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Auto, next question, please.
This one from V'ger on Discord. Dear Timelines Talks, this is a question I posted in the forum. There's no reaction from WRG, but I'm still fond of my idea, wink, wink. I'd be delighted if you could send this to Ben. Thank you for your work. Dearest Ben, living in Europe, I'm usually far behind the counting sheep phase around the time that Gauntlet ends. By the way, I took this question for myself because, we all live in Europe, but it's been a pain point for me as well. While I have to make my last moves hours before bed, contestants in other areas of the world are night owls, can wait until the very last minutes. This is quite frustrating in the long run. Therefore, I suggest that you have gauntlets always run 48 hours starting time from the time the pool of players is formed. That way everyone has equal chance. The featured skills and traits could change at the daily reset or at another defined time. Plus, it should only require minor changes to the UI. Well, you heard it here first. Thank you for your continuous efforts to improve the game.
Yeah. So right now it is, it is a set schedule. So at the point when you change that to make the timer start at a different time, or to make it regional, right? So players in Europe would have, better time, more appropriate time for them to play. But now, I'm breaking the player base into regions if I'm doing that, right? So some gauntlets will have higher majority of European players, and then it could take longer for the gauntlet to be populated with players because of, if we were to make it regional or time zone specific. So it doesn't seem like a big change or a big fix, but it opens up a huge can of worms. Plus, I don't think we have enough global players to properly do that. I think it would take longer for the gauntlets to be populated then.
We'll try not to take that personally, Ben.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that's just the state of the game currently. But the good thing about it now is that it is predictable, right? If we change it, I can just see the forums now, players getting upset, not knowing when their gauntlet was ending at a specific time, because it's changed, right? Plus the way that our gauntlet system works is very similar to like scheduling events, right? We have like a dedicated time, one gauntlet per day, and we just populate a bunch of them at a time.
Okay. This next question is from I haven't skipped anyone. No, I haven't. This next question is from Nomad from Patterns of Force on the forums. Are there plans for a shipyard to improve ship stats such as antimatter, attack, defense, evasion, shields, and hull? Perhaps to generate schematics similar to current replicator rooms? And I think this ties a little bit into the next question, which we'll go on to in a bit.
Yeah, so I love the idea of being able to generate schems. It's definitely interesting. No plan on that currently, or to any plans for the shipyard. But I really wish the ship level loop and flow was different than what we have now. I mean, the ship battle and ship level up flow was actually built 2 weeks before the initial global launch of Star Trek Timelines. So there was a discussion of we need something else in the game, and then within 2 weeks they built that whole system. So it really didn't have the right process and the time to properly make that core level up system feel really good. And addressing upgrading the progression and that loop. But I've seen a lot of comments on the forums actually to update the Dabo loot table of some of the newer schematics. So I'll probably be looking into that very soon. But I love the idea of like upgrading your ship antimatter, especially since everyone just loves voyages. I think during a hackathon at one point, one of our engineers made a starbase buff for antimatter, but which would have been really cool. But I don't think that buff was ever finished code-wise. But that's something that I've always thought about that we should finish and put out. And I'm curious if that's something that you guys would like.
I mean, you must know
Very
on the forums of the ever elusive search for the natural 12-hour voyage. I think that's something everyone between sort of a little bit of power that's happened, and I think the last sort of linchpin is that antimatter count that would probably put people over. So I think people are interested in that, definitely. Moving on a similar topic, and I think you sort of partially answered this anyway, from EnderW on the forums. I'm a bit of a broken record on this topic, but when are the 5 ships, Dominion Flagship, Enterprise A, Enterprise E, Assimilated Voyager, and Federation Fighter, and I'm going to assume the numerous other 5-star ships, going to make it into the Admiral Division's rewards? And related, when will the Admiral Division rewards break with the 2019 schedule?
Yeah, I'll definitely talk to one of our producers and designers and see if we can update that schedule and put some of the newer ships in there maybe later for this year, or possibly sometime this year. But it's, we haven't changed that in a while, and I think it's about time that we revisit those rewards. I'm not promising anything, but we'll take a look.
Fair. This next question is from Karl Pannike. I hope I'm saying that right. And here it's this question for Ben. In the interest of VIP 0 players, i.e. free-to-play, is there any possibility of earning or rewarding Tuesday packs or event packs outside of their dilithium cost, in campaign or event rewards, for example? I ask because when I was VIP 0, those were always the most frustrating part of the game. The small amount of dilithium earned had to go to either shuttles, slots, or a single pack pull.
Yeah, I totally get that. That would be very tricky because, each event would have to give polls for the next theme pack or wherever we were to put that, or in the campaign, which, giving bundles and polls for things can be kind of difficult. Actually, as you saw last week with the 1x polls from the community reward not being granted, which we fixed, but, it's just another thing that can go wrong or something to forget about when things do change, right? The team had an idea of a token that you could use on a pack that was for 650 dilithium. That idea seems really interesting to us, but we haven't taken that idea to the next steps yet. I guess we could give you 650 dilithium instead of like creating a token, but then you could spend that anywhere in the game, so there's a little more balancing there, a little more risk with that. But I love the idea. And I wanted to ask, so it's frustrating for a VIP 0 player. Is the more difficult part getting the crew that is featured in the theme pack, like the new 5-star or theme pack or the event pack?
It doesn't specifically say.
We are not the players to ask about VIP 0 problems.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I've
don't ask me about.
Well, just watching AVC Wharf not get pulled for you stars for so long. And you know what? And after I saw that, I bought the pack a few times myself. The third pull, I got him. And I was like, why? I was like, why?
You scoundrel.
You must be the most unlucky person.
I'll expose your guilt, and I'll let you know that I did a load of pulls on the Mirror Mega recap, and I had a ridiculous hot streak. So
we saw that,
I'm sure someone took pity on me somewhere. So don't feel bad for me. I'm already dead.
So about this question, I remember some time, it might have been 2 years ago by now. I had some kind of limited time pack. I don't remember if it was Elusive Treasures or what, but it had expired or something from the time portal before I could get to it, and I had to put in a ticket, and then they had to go in and add that pack back to my specific time portal. So you're talking about the troubles of trying to get specific event packs into players' hands. Anytime that expires or they're unable to get to them, that's just another customer and support ticket. So I do like the idea. I mean, we had it this last week with the community rewards, and that being everyone getting 2 of those 10 packs. So I would like to see more, but I can certainly understand how that would add mounting customer support tickets, trying to make sure that everyone actually gets to open those in time.
Yep. And if the big thing here is trying to target the new 5-star crew or the new 4-star crew, coming in the future, there will be more ways of getting new crew.
Yes, so the next part of NoblemanDK's question, which was sort of folded into this, was, is there any news, for instance, about making another kind of purchasable pull, cheaper than the 650 we already have, with a potential higher chance of getting all legendaries and a smaller chance of the newer, the normal, and the... So that sounds like it's sort of driving at what you're teasing throughout this entire show, about new ways to obtain crew.
Yep. So if you're looking for new ways to obtain the just older crew or the crew that you're targeting, there's a change that we're making next week as part of our anniversary that will somewhat address this. That's for making new packs with older crew members. We don't have a plan for that now, but that conversation comes up a lot within the studio. Because we do understand the dilution that's in the premium portal, and we think that our Q1 feature will definitely help alleviate that pain point. In addition to the anniversary change that we will be making next week. So after that feature releases, I'd like to get all your opinions on the topic again. But I'll say it again, coming in the future, there will be more ways of getting new crew.
So this ability to get these older legendaries, would you say it's easy or hard or interstellar medium sort of?
There is a that was good.
Subtle.
There will be a path to get them.
There is a way.
There is a way. You could do it for free if you saved up long enough.
Okay.
So there's options for VIP 0.
So when I say free, I mean not spending money.
Yeah.
A real money transaction.
Yeah, you're not just talking about dilithium,
Okay.
you're talking about actual cash.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah.
cash money. Okay.
Other than that, yeah.
Our next question is from 10F Prime Lorca from Discord. Question for Ben. We are currently at 975 crew in the game when this question was typed. I think it's 980 now anyway. Has Wicked Realms Games discussed who will be the 1000th crew? If so, can you drop any hints? And if not yet decided, can please put in a good word for Cardassian prisoner Picard, aka there are 4 lights in the episode Chain of Command.
So no Cardassian prisoner Picard, but I will add him to our crew brainstorming list. Yes, we've had discussions, and we actually know who will be the 1000th crew. And I'm trying to think of a funny way to kind of tease this. So I'll say
we could do 20 questions. We had a lot of fun with that last.
Oh yeah, were you around for that little game that we played?
Yeah, let's do that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it a legendary crew?
Really? Of course it is.
What?
Is it?
I gotta narrow it down.
So are the? All right, how
We
the
got 20,
how the heck
20 yes or no questions.
is this crew a legendary crew?
What's the 1000th crew that you're planning?
Okay, let me check.
Is it a
People are going to be
Cool.
looking at the reflection, glasses for any kind of hint as to who this could be.
enhanced?
I believe it is.
Okay.
Okay. Are they in Starfleet?
Just double checking. 'Cause I just don't want to give wrong information.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, they're in Starfleet.
So we've had
That helps less than I thought it would.
So maybe
Are they-
legendary Starfleet.
Starfleet legendary. Are they male?
Yeah. Yes, they're legendary. Male. Yes.
Okay.
It's 3.
Are they TNG crew?
No.
Okay.
Should we just go through all the series and try to figure it out?
Are they in uniform? If you have the art.
I don't think we have the final version of the art yet.
Okay.
So I can't.
Okay.
I can't confirm.
Okay.
Oh, then that doesn't count as a question. We're still only.
Okay, we're on 4. We're 4.
All right. Are they from Deep Space Nine?
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean, are they from the original series?
No.
Oh.
How many series are they? No one asks Lower Decks. Do not ask her.
Actually, let's have a look and see if the chat have got any good questions there. So I always like stealing there.
Okay.
Someone says probably Janeway. Are they from Voyager?
No.
Jeez.
Well, at least 2 options.
I think we can guess it's not Enterprise. So
Yeah, so it's probably a Discovery crew.
the Black Sheep. Are they Discovery?
No.
Oh my God, we're burning through all of them.
Go ahead. Ask
Okay.
the last one.
Well, hold
Can
on,
I? I'm going to ask an unorthodox one. Are they a character that is actually appeared in Star Trek, or is it some kind of special crew?
They appear in Star Trek.
Like, is this the art you would find by looking at an episode or movie?
Oh, like this is no. This is not. This is not an original. This is
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Okay, are they from Picard, the series?
No.
Oh my God, how many
That's all
series
of
are
them.
there?
That's all of them.
Well, there's original.
Plot twist
series. And
The plot
Enterprise.
twist, it'll be TAS. It'll be TAS.
Hold on, are they from movie?
It's from Enterprise, okay? You're at 10 now. This is an Enterprise crew. You have 10 more questions. Just go.
I'm like, there's no way they're picking someone from Enterprise.
Oh, okay.
Are they main cast?
Yes.
Yeah. of
Okay,
course
that
it's gonna be
helps.
For the 1,000th crew.
I mean,
You never
okay.
know.
Okay, it's
All
not
right, hoist the
1,000.
male. Hold on, we have Archer.
No, we've already had
Reed,
male.
Phlox, Mayweather.
It's got to be Archer. Is it Archer?
No.
1,000?
Are they a captain?
No. This is
Okay.
a bad idea.
This was like working.
I was hoping it would be Captain Tucker from Twilight.
Jeez, this is rough.
This is really rough.
Questions left.
We've got
Is it a Phlox?
No.
We did just get a Phlox in honor roll. That was a dumb
I
question.
swear to God, if the 1,000th crew is a Mayweather.
Otto, you moron.
Oh, yeah.
All right, is it a Charles Trip Tucker?
No.
Oh my God, I'm just burning through these. It is a male main cast Enterprise
that leaves
crew.
Mayweather
Legendary.
and
Mayweather and Reed is all that's left, unless we want to count Shran, but I don't think that would be viable.
Oh.
So
But is Shran main cast? He was going to be in season 5 if there was a season 5.
he was going to be, if he was not Shran, but I wouldn't.
All right,
classify
I'll
him.
ask the question from the chat. Is it a Porthos variant?
No.
No. Okay, Skycap Zillion. Is it Reed?
No.
What?
4 more questions.
No one wants to say
This
Zelda,
is.
do they?
You can step on that landmine.
What'd you say?
You can step on that landmine yourself.
No.
Go ahead,
ask.
ask.
No.
I dare you.
Bugger. So the main cast, not Archer, not Reed, not Tucker, not Phlox.
I don't want to ask Mayweather, but like, how many males serving on the ship are you? Are there?
Not that many.
I didn't want to ask Enterprise either. Maybe it is Mayweather.
He's enjoying this.
Just ask it then. You got 4 more questions.
Screw it. Is it Mayweather?
Yes, it is a version of
They
Mayweather.
picked Travis Mayweather for the 1,000.
We did.
Okay, well,
I have to leave. I have to go. I have to.
Stars, you know Enterprise best. How many crazy costumes does he have?
Not that many. He doesn't do that much. Usually, he just gets in sickbay and gets injured.
Okay, is
boring.
it 0 G Mayweather floating upside down?
No.
Dang.
I don't think
How
I
many
want
we
to tell
got
you the
left?
specific. You got the crew. So
We have 2 questions.
Okay.
Well, we're trying to figure out the exact frame by frame.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he's
Who you're dealing with here.
and he's in uniform, right? That was in one of the questions.
I didn't say that.
It's Boomer Mayweather 2.
Double the boom.
Trying to think of all his variants, and it's like he doesn't wear that much that's different.
Tourist Mayweather?
Mako Mayweather.
Mako Mayweather.
Oh, what from okay.
Mirror Darkly.
Yeah, okay. I'm down with that.
That's...
That's what we're looking at.
Okay.
We're looking at Sec.
I even
Sec
thought about
Inch.
that the other day because I was watching the episode and we have Mirror Mayweather in his red security uniform from after they get down to the Defiant, but we didn't have him on the ship from like part 1. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really comes down to what our current crew release schedule is, and then we have a little bit of flexibility of which crew we can fill in to those spots, right? So we thought we would give Mayweather a little love.
Nice.
Okay.
So we just burned 20 minutes of your time on that guest. So maybe we should keep going.
Okay, that is the end of the community questions. Just a reminder to everyone, if you have any more community questions, please email them to timelinestalks@gmail.com. Send them through on the forums to myself or Auto, or on the Discord as well as a direct message. Don't just ping the main chat, we won't see it. because there will be another Q&A next month where Ben will be showing off the new quarter one feature, and we'll be asking some more questions. So if you didn't get your question featured this time, have faith, there is another Q&A coming soon. But we have a few more questions from ourselves. Stars, you have one first.
I think I see
indeed.
I think I see Mako Mayweather's art in his glasses. Can anyone zoom in on that, please?
It's like, I can suddenly see better without my glasses. All right, so these ones that we are the hosts ourselves have come up with. So you've mentioned that you like to keep the community on their toes in regards to new features and content, which does have the advantage of adding to the pleasant surprise of what will come to the game next. That being said, other live games like Warframe or Dead by Daylight often publish a roadmap of what they plan to have out in the next year or so people generally know what to expect. Have you guys considered doing something similar for timelines?
Yeah, it's like I guess we like to keep the community on their toes with certain things because it keeps things exciting, right? Like log into the game and there's a new thing there with a new announcement. So it's kind of like Christmas morning. We can't be too predictable, or we can't release a roadmap because you guys would be just as disappointed as us when dates shift drastically due to other priorities and things like that. And that's just the nature of development. So we can't be too predictable because then players' habits change. Like we've already started to see that actually with some players actually expecting an honor sale for this anniversary, and that's not what's coming. But and that can affect the economy in the game and our business plan as well. If players just start hoarding a currency and not spending it, it throws the balance off for certain things. So with certain features, our changes, we can't announce them early, or they can have very negative consequences on the game. So I've seen people trying to predict the next honor sale, but due to our Q1 feature, we're not doing an honor sale for this anniversary, and we'll probably do it a few months down the line. And nothing is static in development, right? We have deadlines for this 8.0 client for SDK stuff, and part of our development is moving people around and moving resources around. So we do have an internal roadmap, but we will not be publishing that because you guys would be just as disappointed at us when there's a feature that's pushed down the line a bit. And I wanted to ask, is there other mobile games that publish roadmaps?
This is the only one I play, which is a compliment.
Do you really think we have? We put on this show. You think we have time to go play other mobile games in between?
There are other sort of like more premium sort of exclusive games. No, more sort of AAA games that sort of more sort of console and PC gaming. They do sort of publish, say, hey, this is what we're planning to do over the next few months, and yeah, okay, some deliver, some don't, some say, okay, we're pushing that up, but it's nice to sort of have an appreciation to say, like yourself, you've said, okay, you said sort of a few months back, we've got a new feature that's coming quarter 1 2021, and like you say, you're keeping to that. It's nice to sort of have an idea that there is something coming, and the same with crew that are coming out as well. It's nice to sort of have a little sort of a look ahead and sort of think, right, hang on, if I'm playing this week to week, it kind of gets a bit like, what am I aiming for? So it's nice to know there is something down the road, because least of all, most people expected to keep playing this game after a month after they'd spent the monthly cards. Okay, we're still here 2-3 years later. It's nice to sort of see that there's something we're still playing this for. So I think, obviously we're not expecting you to say, oh yeah, here's our internal roadmap, but it's nice to know, again, like you did on the previous Q&A, to say, oh, we have a new feature coming. It's nice to know that there is development, there is things for the players to come, and even if you can't explicitly say, it is sort of, there's nice to have goalposts, even if the goalposts move. Even if they do move, most people are generally understanding as long as we get them. As said.
With all due respect to the premium number one,
and that's why too
talk show. Sorry. Oh, go ahead, Ben.
I was just gonna say, I forgot my train of thought. So go ahead.
Oh, it happens on this show. It happens.
It does. Yeah. Well done. You've got the Timelines Talks curse. You've forgotten what you were talking
Lost
about.
it. Totally lost it.
I'll just say then, with all due respect to us, to put a voice to comments I've seen elsewhere, blog posts on the website in official places, just so that people can, without having to go through what will end up being a 2-hour video, it helps that they can have that in official places too. So,
yeah. So I remember what I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, since we switched over to this new studio, the Tilting Point, and created Wicked Realm Games, one of the things we were striving for was giving the community a little more information, right? Before that, I don't think you guys really got much. Knowing when new features are coming, it would just there'd be a new client, and then you guys would know about it, right?
Yep.
But this is like months and months in advance now, so. Again, we can't announce everything early in the full details of everything because, it can affect how players behave, right? And that can be dangerous for the game, especially when the players don't know what that feature is going to end up looking like, playing like, acting like, right? So, but, we've made steps there to try to be more transparent, especially with longer term, milestones and longer term big feature updates.
Okay, question from Automaton 2000. Big pain point question for me. Carlos Data, who was an event reward 6 weeks ago now. He's not in the Big Goodbye Vanity collection. We haven't heard from anyone official if that is still coming, even though logic dictates that it should. Is there a reason why these crew aren't added while they're still on sale, while they're still available, so that WRG can make a few more pennies off that? And is there a way to standardize this process in the future so that players will know yes or no when they get the crew stats? Is this crew going to be in one of the non-standard collections? Like I think the last Vanity crew before that was Age of Sail Picard, and I know there were some problems, some bugs with that crew if someone had completed the collection with them. So
yeah, so the way I've actually been trying to structure our collection releases in advance with certain mega arcs, right? I think in October we released the Mirror collection, and then I think it was 2 months later we had the Mirror arc, or the Discovery arc, but it was the Mirror trait, and see if that would have an impact on sales. So we've been kind of playing around with that a bit. But the way that we build our collections, we can associate them with a trait, or we have to list out the individual crew. So like the Big Goodbye collection is one of those collections where we don't have a specific trait for. We have to list out those individual crew. And sometimes those are missed by designers, right? So after reading this, I had coming from QA, I had talked to my other QA members and said, hey, let's start adding this case to crew testing and test rails. So we can start catching the stuff earlier. But yeah, we have to manually add them to the collection. New collections that we are making use that trait functionality. So, there won't be the situation where the crew should be in a collection, but they're not. And the trait collections, they just auto update whenever a new crew is released. We still have to extend the milestones whenever they exceed that milestone, right? But yeah, we have a few collections like that. We have to manually update them. But no time frame on updating that one specifically. I believe we do have a bug on it now though. But if we were able to do that, we would probably skip a month of releasing a new collection and instead just go back and update a few other collections, maybe extend some milestones too.
Now, when you say skip a month of releasing collections, does that mean that there are in upcoming months more collections?
So the current trend that I've been trying to hold is a collection a month. Now that can vary depending on the situation and depending on how much work. But I can say as of right now, we have a collection planned for January and a collection planned for February.
Okay. Then
it'll be the Wolf collection, I imagine.
Yeah, just EV suit Wolf.
Hey, no, Gorch Wharf. When do we get Gorch Wharf?
There's a lot of crew.
Midwife Wharf?
Midwife Wharf. He uttered the sacred words.
Sackmat.
I'm not saying nothing. You can't tempt me again. I won't be hurt again.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
hey,
so-
hey, Stars, I got a crew for you. Oh, I said a Tuesday pack.
Hey,
I'll
man.
never do something nice again. I swear.
Okay.
Well, it's funny because I wanted to try to get that crew in December, and it just happened to fall into a theme pack, and I was like, oh, gotta send it, gotta leave it there.
Here's the thing. Even with how that played out, even if I had not gotten him after like 30k or whatever it was, I'm just glad he's in the game, and I thank you for that because he is gorgeous.
Okay.
Good,
cool.
I'm glad.
So
Also,
before I move on, I have another collection question. So is that a thumbs up for Carlos data being added eventually? You don't have to commit.
I'm not
You
going to
don't have
promise anything. I'm not going to commit anything, but
Okay.
that's I've pretty much got it in my head now that, you know, for a future month, instead of adding a new collection, it will be updating the collections.
Okay. All right. Well, then, as long as we're talking about them, we've loved the collections. I know that's on stream and off stream. That's taking up a big chunk of our conversation. I wanted to ask you about Timeline's Originals crew or non-canon crew. I feel like that slowed way down following the addition of the Originals collection. I think the last one we had, was it Assimilated Troy? Like
I believe so,
almost
yeah.
almost 2 years ago. So it's been quite a while. Are you guys, is that a coincidence that it sort of slowed down with the collection, or can we expect to see more down the line?
So it's funny because now you guys like STT Originals. When they first came out, the community
We
in
always
general
liked them.
hated them because they were non-canon. So we love making STT Original crew, but you know, we do feel like the player base is split on them for sure. You know, Originals do take more time and more effort, from design, the concept stage, to even QA testing, and especially approval stages. But they are fun to make for sure. And I'm sure we'll end up doing another one. And they usually come about by someone internal pitching one, you know, for an STT original, but we haven't had someone internal pitch one in a while. So feel free to start a thread on the forums and post some ideas. If
I'm pitching John McClane Chakotay, and his main ability will be Yippee-ki-yay. Can we do that?
Oh, you need to catch up on Discovery, my friend.
But yeah, I mean, I'm really glad you guys are enjoying new collections. Now that I'm in the new position I'm in now, I have more say and direction with monthly sales, events, content drops, and so what. So, you know, because there hasn't been a brand new big and shiny feature in the past few months, I've tried to fill that void with other content updates, and collections has been a very big part of that, mainly because you guys have been asking for them. So, you know, I'm really happy that you guys are enjoying the collections.
I think this is it. Like we've said before, it's anything that can kind of give us a bit of longevity. I can't even say the word. A little bit more use out of crew that we would have sitting there doing nothing otherwise. You know, you look at 23rd Century Martok and you think, well, at least these are Timeline's Originals. You know, otherwise, you know, it gives a little bit more niche to the crew that would otherwise sort of sit there regardless.
Yeah. And just sort of like dovetail off of like Otto's point, it's like about the controversy, well, not even controversy, but like the split opinion about like Timeline's Originals. This is like almost apropos of nothing, but I feel like I should say it anyway. The limited time off for crew, I think, is Aviator, and Aviator, I think, is an example of an almost perfect Timeline's Original because she has absolutely amazing art. I love the concept. She had a really cool story that she came from, and I have a few friends that I've gotten into Star Trek, and I love taking especially the art that you guys provide and just showing them it and being like, this is it, completely devoid of context. Just look at how nice this is. And someone who's a big Tasha Yar fan just like has that as her Discord profile picture. So like, yes, some people may be split on it, but there are people out there who really, really love, especially for like characters like Tasha who didn't get a lot of love in the show, having an Originals that gives them new life and allows you to play around with them more in events. It's appreciated, like not just in game, but also to the Star Trek community enjoy it as well.
Yeah, I mean, we love doing them. Yeah, we just haven't had an internal pitch for one in a while. But you know, if you guys have ideas, post them on the forums. We'll take a look at them.
Okay, so Stars, read this next question very slowly so Ben has a chance to enjoy one of his fantastically arted brews.
Well, he's holding his liquor better than idle at the moment, so you know I'll do just that. You couldn't get out the word longevity, my friend.
You can't take it from...
drinking that 2 pant beer, you know.
This is a lovely New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. Carry on.
All right, calm down. So sort of like building on my previous point, the stories for timelines is like quite involved for a mobile game. And it spans like a great number of factions, time periods, different series. Are there any plans to make the main story replayable, i.e. making it so that when you go through without warping, you can read the dialogue again, or possibly even make different episode choices? Not necessarily with different awards, but just to see how they play out.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this multiple times. Our writer is amazing. You know, so authentic to the brand, to the license. But unfortunately, right now we don't have any plans for that. I'm curious how many players would want that to replay the story. To be honest, you know, we probably will not make a change to that. But you know, there's I don't know. Maybe we can post the script somewhere on the wiki or something.
That would be
That'd be cool. That'd be really
Yeah.
neat, actually. Yeah.
Like, because this is it, you know, we look back, there is a team of dedicated people on the Timelines Discord that go, right, we need the A, B, and C options so we can record this for posterity on the wiki, because otherwise once they're gone,
awesome,
you have to wait for a rerun before we can read that text again. So it's nice to,
Right.
you know, there's a few people like myself, you know, I've skipped through the text and gone, oh, I didn't read any of that. Oh, Christ, maybe I should, you know, and like you've said, you've guilted me in thinking, oh, I got this amazing writer, and I'm like, oh, now I feel bad, and I want to go back and read it, but I can't. So it's nice. It would be nice to have that option to sort of immerse in the world a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, just think about how many events we have, right? Like, there's just so much story there. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, I think posting the scripts would be a nice happy medium for both you and for us, for the people who really want to read that. I think that I would be.
I'll also say the stories that are pertaining to events, you sort of have an incentive to skip them because you don't want to fall behind in sending out your shuttles and starting crafting, etc. But the storyline, you can kind of go at your own leisurely pace. And I think on alt number 4 of 6 or whatever, I went through and I read every single storyline, and I posted that online as sort of a playthrough and made little comments along the way. And it was much more enjoyable when I actually slowed down and read through the script. So yeah, I would love to have it somewhere without having to make a new account and going through 10.
Oh yeah, you hate that. You hate making new accounts.
Okay,
You
let's
guys and your spreadsheets. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll put all the dialogue in a spreadsheet so that Idle can read it.
I can't, with this new Q1 feature, I can't wait to see the crazy spreadsheets you guys are going to be making. It's going to be fantastic.
Talking my language.
Okay, shifting gears a little bit, I wanted to ask you about Gauntlet crew, because a strong Gauntlet crew get added very infrequently. I think we've only had, in the last year, we had obviously Red Angel, Twilight to Paul was a big one, and then there are a few that you sort of have to catch 25, 45% crit before you can even think about bringing them along. And it's in one way, it's nice that they're rare because you get excited when you can acquire a new one, but at the same time, it sort of makes for a stale meta in the Gauntlet. So is that sort of a conscious decision to stick to only 2, 3, 4 crew a year? And is that something that could maybe change with player feedback if they want more Gauntlet crew added?
Yeah, that can definitely change with player feedback. You know, if you guys want more Gauntlet focused crew, let us know on the forums too. But you know, when designing a crew, our designers design the crew with a purpose in mind, right? With every crew, there's a purpose why we designed it the way we did. You know, what was the crew like on the show? What skills do they have? You know, try to make it authentic. But Gauntlet definitely is one of those more hardcore elder player features. You know, where we're a crew that have high base tailored to the majority of our players. But if that's something that people are looking for to shake up the Gauntlet meta a bit, I can, you know,
I think
talk
it's like,
to a designer.
Yeah,
I have the power. So
he has the power.
I wanted to see like lightning going off in the background when you say that.
Yeah,
unlimited power.
I think, you know,
wrong franchise.
When we talk about, you know, getting more use out of our crew, and especially super rare crew. And we look at crew like Mirror Phlox, who is a gauntlet mainstay just because of how good his med is, because of how often his traits come up. Giving that little bit of extra flexibility to, we look at super rare crew, you get to sort of, especially us three, our stage in the game, we think, right, it's a super rare, we'll get the extra 4-star and we'll freeze. It'd be nice to sort of think, I've got a reason to keep them unfrozen because they're useful in this situation. They're an absolute dip god in the brutal diplomat section of the gauntlet or whatever, whichever traits that align to give them a 45% bonus.
And some of our collections as well has shaken up the meta a little bit with the certain buffs that we've been adding to the collection. So we've been like kind of micro adjusting that a little bit. But back to your point, Idle, of getting more usage out of crew. One thing it reminds me of last time I was on stream, I think it was a question about why don't we see any faction events towards the second half of the mega arc, right? So we took that feedback. The 2 mega events ago, it was too soon to change. We didn't have enough time to kind of change that structure. But last mega event, I believe in December, we had a faction phase in part 2 and a full faction part 3. And the February arc is going to be structured similarly. So we're taking that feedback. I don't want to box us into saying that's what it's going to be like for every mega going forward, but we still need that design freedom to kind of flex there. But we've taken that feedback and we're making adjustments on that.
Cool. Has there ever been any discussion about doing something just crazy like 4 factions in a row or something, or is that just not worth the hassle? Because you're going to have a lot of negative player feedback, but at least it would be something new. Have you ever had a discussion?
I wouldn't be surprised if Shan is writing a message to you right now yelling at you that you just said that.
I'm already banned from the forums. I'm a bad influence.
You are a bad
influence. I mean that would be interesting, right? That would be something very different. I just don't know if players would really enjoy that, right? It really does flex on the utilizing the crew that you get throughout the mega, right? But I don't know. I mean, that's something I think about.
On a spin from that, we did see our very first Galaxy faction in that order event, which was a very unique spin, which a lot of people went, ooh, what is this? But actually, not favorable, but it was something different. It was a new experiment. Was that something that was specific? Sorry, this isn't in our question sheet, and I'm throwing this. Was this something that was actually planned in advance to say like, oh, let's just try this out. Let's just try something different for once in the 200, 300 odd events we've had.
Yeah, that was actually funny because we had a conversation about that. We're like, have we had an event structured like this before? And we're like, I don't think so. I'm like, all right, well, let's build it and we'll test it real quick and then see if it actually works the way we want it to. And it worked fine. So we're like, all right, let's go with it. Now that we know that we can do that, maybe you'll see more of those in the future.
Sorry, I've got to ask then. We also had, it was 2 years ago when we did the triple event with 3 different phases, and I think it was Expedition, Faction, and Galaxy. Has there been any thoughts to? I know I'm like torturing people. I'm like 18 factions in a row, but is that something that has ever come up since then as a possibility?
Yeah, it hasn't come up, but we know that the tech works that way, right? That was something special we wanted to try. It ended up being a big headache for comms, right? Like explaining that change, that this is the first 3-phase event. So we don't have one planned, but I wouldn't ever rule it out that we would make another one. But it would be a special occasion, probably.
Okay. So moving on, one other one from me. You've mentioned that your favorite Zelda game is Majora's Mask, which is notable for having sort of like quite dark themes compared to other Zelda titles and involving heavy use of time travel, which is appropriate for the game that you work on. What are some of your other favorite games? Have they inspired you at work? And should we be expecting a Majora's Mask style mega event in the future? There we go. There it is.
Nintendo, please don't copyright this. But
oh, we've had copyright strikes before. It's fine. You'll be all right.
Oh yeah. I mean, that Zelda is my favorite franchise of all time.
After Star Trek, right, Ben?
Right.
You're cutting out there, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, we're all. Yeah. Well, of course, Star
CBS
Trek has a special place in my heart. But Zelda, I think it just hit me at the right time. When I was growing up playing those games, right? And then every new game, but probably not a mega event theme like that. Nintendo was not afraid to copyright strike anyone. So, but yeah, I mean that game is amazing. And all games that we play do inspire us. Either we want to try to replicate a certain feeling that a game made us have, and maybe we see an idea or a feature in another game that we want to tailor it and make it authentic to Star Trek. So, for an example, the campaigns feature, we noticed a lot of other games were doing like a seasons type feature. The first major ones to do it were Fortnite and Call of Duty, but we wanted to try to bring that into the mobile space and try to make that authentic to Star Trek. So I know we want the first ones to bring it to the mobile space, but we saw the impact of how a campaign or another game's called Seasons has on daily retention and engagement. And we wanted to try to replicate that and put our own spin on it. And it gives the player more longer term goals from season to season. And plus it gives us other monetization opportunities as well. But that idea came from, I believe, a producer in our studio that was like, yeah, why don't we just kind of like replicate this kind of system? We're like, that's awesome. We should do that. Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of replicating systems, and there is an awesome feature you could add to game. Have you ever played a game called Mass Effect? I believe it was somewhat inspired by. Just saying, just as a feature coming in. Oh, you should play Mass Effect. Anyway, please.
Yeah, I'll have to play that one.
Oh, you should play Mass Effect. The first three, ignore Andromeda. Anyway, carry on.
All right. Before this becomes an entirely different kind of stream, you've mentioned a few times before that Picard is your favorite captain and perhaps even your favorite Trek character in general. What were your personal thoughts on his eponymous show's first season?
Yeah, so in the original TNG, I just liked how different he was from Kirk. Kirk just wanted to kiss everyone under the sun. So having a captain that acted like a captain was cool. I'm still not fully caught up on the Picard series. I have a few episodes left to go, and so far, what I've seen, I've liked. I think I like it more than Lower Decks for sure. Sorry, Idle, but the story was different. It was interesting. It kept me intrigued. But I have heard a few times that the last episode is really, really good. So don't spoil that for me.
Wait,
you got some stuff
demands.
something Dumbledore, right?
This will be our leverage.
I think we have just a few personal questions left.
We do,
you
yeah.
talked a lot about traveling and your Saudi Arabian penthouse, where you preside over the serfs that work in the dilithium mines. And 2020 has not been a good year for travel, so I'm sure you've had a lot of time to think about it. Where are you taking your next trip, and will it be to London in 2021 to join us for the Destination Star Trek?
So I'd love to attend Star Trek London, but right now we don't have plans to do that. But I don't know. Maybe I'll take a personal trip. Who knows?
We might, depending on obviously COVID restrictions at the time. I think we're thinking of definitely. No, for me and the Stars just down the road, and it's not far away from me. But I think we're definitely thinking of going there and doing something Timelines Talks related, whether they want us to or not. So.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll turn up with a camera and go, here.
I'll go as a 6-pack.
Yeah, I have a feeling they might cancel it, but hopefully we'll have something. Maybe even just something online. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, 2020 was a tough one. It's funny. My dad always talks about the infamous New England blizzard of '78 that I hear about all the time, and he even said that 2020 was definitely worse than that. So any New Englanders can no longer talk about how bad the blizzard of '78 was. But for other plans, I'll probably go out in the woods in Maine to snowboard and snowmobile in the next few weeks. But my next major trip is actually my wedding in July, in a route that hopefully happens this year, as long as it's safe to travel. But we had to move it from last year. But who knows what the world's going to look like in a few months.
Hopefully
then-
better. We can hope.
Then
Yeah,
I've got
if
to jump. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Yeah, if 2020 taught us anything, it's that things can always be worse. Actually, it's if you don't laugh about how terrible 2020 was, then you'll probably end up crying about it. So I guess it's just better to laugh about it.
Hey, listen, if it wasn't for 2020, we wouldn't have this show. I predict. So me having a lot of
That's
time
true.
to myself,
Well,
thinking
it's
I should do
close
something.
family thought, then, isn't it?
Yeah, I should do something. Yeah. Yeah. And then after that, we're actually hoping, we've been saving up for a honeymoon, which right now we're actually planning Thailand. So, but again, who knows if that will ever happen.
I was going to recommend Riser, but Thailand's lovely.
But then I got to ask.
If I could go to Rise,
I got to ask my next question. Last time you here, then you mentioned to us that you're engaged, and so I wondered if you have any outrageous wedding plans, and if they involve the replica Enterprise D bridge or not. I guess
my God,
since you're a Zelda fan, maybe it would be even to that direction.
she would kill me. She would kill me if I did that. But I mean, Riker would take the spotlight from me. Obviously, he's just too handsome. So, yeah. I mean, we're just hoping to have a wedding on the beach in Aruba. Keeping it very small. Probably have like a pineapple upside down cake as our wedding cake or something. And maybe I'll bring a copy of a cutout of Luau Paris, and just kind of stand next to him. He'll be my mate. Yeah, he'll be up there with the crew. So
the best man.
Yeah.
All right. So sort of like speaking a little bit more about 2020. I know we've said goodbye to a bit. It still looms over us. How have you personally adjusted to working from home / remotely? Because I know that other developers such as Square Enix have announced a permanent shift to remote work for some of its workers. Does WRG plan something similar, and do you think it would affect your work at all?
Yeah, it's been a process for sure. Actually, I didn't realize how bad it would affect me at first. Of just like, I don't need to leave my house now. It's weird. Like, I only leave my house to go for groceries and stuff like that. But I've actually been trying to work out more now that I'm home and just kind of stay healthy now that I'm not running around doing a bunch of things. But as for working company wise, right now we are fully remote. And we've actually hired a few folks that are not in the state and live across the country because we are fully remote as of right now. And so we were able to get some amazing applicants that we otherwise wouldn't have gotten. So we're hoping in 2021 we can get an office space again. We like being in the office, hanging out with our coworkers. It's much easier to hash out an idea on a whiteboard than it is to do that virtually. But yeah, we're fun people and we all like working with one another in the same room. So hopefully we can do that again.
That sounds good. That brings us to the end of our questions. Thank you very much, Ben, for joining us. For everyone just coming in, Ben will be back, won't you, in about a month's time, and you will be absolutely showing off this new Quarter 1 feature, which is a new gameplay mode. You'll be sort of definitely giving us a bit more of a walkthrough for that. So we haven't got a date set yet because I am moving. Well, people can see the boxes behind me. I am moving house, and I'm the only one that can stream the show. So I'm kind of being a bit flexible, but we will definitely. I think we will be showing it before it goes live. With any luck, we'll keep you updated on that. But Ben, absolutely, thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for addressing the Adira issue and giving us a bit of transparency behind that, and for all the questions of the community, and for sort of being here for the third time. As we always say, we're very grateful that you take your time out, and for Wicked Realm Games and from everyone working there, that you have a bit of representation directly to us, the players. So yeah, thank you very much for coming here yet again, enduring us.
Thank you. But I do have some other details that I'd like to share.
Is it John McClane Chakotay?
Around the anniversary. So,
please.
First of all, on a personal note, I just want to say, Star Trek Timelines is turning 5 years old, and that is just a huge accomplishment and milestone for the team. players. That's a long time. That's a big section of your life that you've been dedicated to the game. But on a personal note, like working on Star Trek Timelines for this long has honestly been a dream come true for me. When I joined the team 4 years ago as an associate QA tester, I saw how special the community was and how passionate you guys were for the game and the franchise, and that matched our passion for it. And I knew that that this game and the community was something really special. So personally, this game has changed my life. This was the first game that just started my gaming industry career with Star Trek Timelines. So, and I've been able to grow professionally because of it. So, I think I've learned more about games myself and in life in general the past 4 years working on this game than I have the rest of my life combined. To have a mobile game successful, last this long and turn 5 years old is something that is very, very rare. And it's something very special, especially for the people who have been, pouring their blood, sweat, and tears into it. Everyone at Wicked Realm Games does not take this for granted. And we all realize how special this milestone and anniversary is to ourselves and our players. We are very proud of what we've been able to build for Star Trek Timelines, and we'll continue to build it as we grow the game and the community. And I really do just want to seriously thank all of you, our players, for enjoying the game and being the best community in gaming. This game wouldn't be anything without the players and the fans who play it and enjoy it. So sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you guys. Now that I've gotten the sappy stuff out of the way, we have some special stuff going on every week for the first few weeks of this anniversary month. So what started yesterday was the free 5-star giveaway in the time portal and the 3 temporary anniversary achievements that I'll give copies of Luau Paris, which I just love the art of that crew. This will end on February the 3rd, so make sure to claim it before that. On the 7th is the start of our anniversary mini arc that will span 2 events. I think we've done a mini arc one other time, so this is something that's a little new, a little different. So we're excited to try that out. On the 12th, we'll be releasing a new anniversary avatar that unlocks after you've been playing Star Trek Timelines for 5 years. Grudge the Cat. So look forward to that. On the 12th, we're making a big change to something in the game. I can't directly tell you what it is just yet, though I really, really want to. But on the 8th, so in 2 days, we'll have a little announcement explaining this change to give you guys a few days to start to prep for it. We are very much looking forward to announcing this change and delivering the change. As a player, I am very excited for this change, and I think everyone else will be too. So keep your eyes peeled for an announcement on the 8th, Friday.
Okay.
On the 14th, that is our official anniversary day. So Star Trek Timelines turns 5 years old. You'll get a little message from the team. Probably just as sappy as what mine was. And then I believe that's when the Grudge avatar will also switch over as well. On the 19th, we'll be starting a Dabo sale. So, but this is unlike any Dabo sale that we've previously had. So it's very different. I think you'll enjoy it. Stay tuned for that. We'll have more details soon. But during this time, the ads on Dabo will be disabled just for balancing purposes. Okay. So, but wait, there's more. On the 20th, we will be releasing the most player-requested collection I think we've gotten for years. So, any guesses?
Athlete. No. Okay, got it.
Boomer to coincide with Mayweather.
Nope.
Well, we had Mirror. The other big one I can think of is Klingon.
You got it. Klingon collection. So coming on the 20th. So out of all these changes, I'm very excited for the new collection and most excited about the big change that's happening on the 12th. So, but you may ask, but Ben, what can I do to prepare for this mysterious change on the 12th? My answer to you will be I will be saving up my premium portal pulls. Don't pull them. Save them up. Because we're making a change. Okay. As for the new feature that I've had mentioned previously, that we're releasing in Q1 of this year, I will be sharing what that feature is next month on the stream again. And we'll be doing forum posts and in-game mails around that too. Shan will be posting a summary of everything I just kind of spiel I just went through. She'll be posting that tomorrow morning on the forums and in-game mail. But do you guys have any questions?
Yes, we got to pump you for information while you're here. What's the threshold going to look like for the Klingon collection? Because I'm a collection guy. Because there are over 80 Klingon. There are 86 Klingon, I think, in the game.
Yeah.
Is it going to
go?
You
haven't been thinking about this at all. This is just off the top of your head.
Is it going to 60 like Diplomat, or maybe even bigger?
So there's 80. Yeah.
86
so
Klingons.
It would probably be. What's the next tier after 60? Is it 80?
We haven't had any go to 80, but I won't complain if you want to.
I don't know. I'll have to talk to the designer about that. Maybe we'll just make it 80. Who knows? Who knows what will happen? But yeah, I do want to reiterate the big change on the 12th. Save up premium portal polls for that date.
Okay. So. Last little question. You did mention, and I think this is kind of on the tip of everyone, and there's another personal one for me, but like for those that have been saving up their honor, and you say there's no honor sale coming this Convergence date, because of roadmaps, you can't commit to a time to say when the next honor sale is. Are you planning to have an honor sale at some point?
We're not stopping doing them. We'll have another one.
Okay. So
it will not be in January. The big new feature comes out in February, so that'll be the big focus for February.
Okay.
So maybe the month after that.
Okay. No, that's
okay. Good to know.
Guys, anything else?
I'm
just dropping bombshells every time he appears.
I'm kind of hoping if we shut up, maybe he'll keep giving us more time.
We'll start from the top. We'll get it. No, Ben. Thank you very much for coming on the stream and joining us. It's been great, and like I say, everyone joining us, you'll be back next month to show us the big sort of the game-changing feature that you're going to be announcing to everyone. So we're very much looking forward to that, and we're very much looking forward to everything else that's coming out this anniversary.
Yeah, I can say the team is really excited to start announcing this new feature. We've been working on it. It's been in the works for a long time. It's something that players have been requesting since the start of the game, but we had to take our time with it to make sure it was designed properly, just because the nature of what the feature is. But I'm really excited to start showing you guys that next month. So, yeah.
This QA is barely finishing, and you're already teasing the next one. Like, Ben, you can't leave us in suspense like this. It's so cool.
I know, but soon, a month away, and you'll know what it is, and it'll be worth the wait. I can promise you that.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
Okay. Well, we're going to carry on talking about normal stuff that we usually talk about the show. Ben, you're welcome to stay and join us if you wish, or you can escapa, whichever you wish.
That never works.
The awkward pause.
I have lots of work to do today, so I should probably get on that.
Not until you've had too much to drink.
I really
feature. It is.
I appreciate you having me on the show.
We appreciate you.
It's always our pleasure.
It's always a blast. So can't wait for next month.
As can I. It'll be great fun to have you back.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, Ben. We'll see you soon. Okay. Gosh, we have a lot to unpack there. I have many pages of notes.
And shockingly,
I'm still struggling to get
only one cipher the entire time.
Only one cipher, which was record time deciphered. Commander Sinclair, give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah, congratulations.
Even if you've deciphered interstellar medium, which... Okay. We don't know what that is.
It's not as good as Interstellar Large, but I like it better than Interstellar Small.
True. It is the most sort of balanced of the interstellar currencies.
Oh dear.
Okay, so
can you tell things have gone off the rails now that Ben's gone? It's like, oh god.
Okay, so there's going to be a double sale, unlike what we've seen
Any
before.
other with the ad warps disabled, which is interesting.
I wonder if they're going to do like maybe escalating credits to pull. Who knows?
That could be interesting. All those people who save up for those 10 million credit pull things are going to go,
Tell me, Auto, when he says save your premium pulls, how many have you got at the moment?
I'm not going to divulge yet here.
He's not at liberty to say.
Oh, my word. And we just did our pull packs, didn't we? Oh, my word.
Oh, yeah, you guys did. I didn't, so good for me.
So like a lot of other like a lot of other people, of course, I'm disappointed. There's no on sale coming this month. That was kind of what we were saving up for. He does reassure us they are planning another one, so that gives me some hope that because we like to.
Yeah, so it's good news, bad news. I think most people were expecting it here and have been saving up for it. But the good news is they've never, to my recollection, have ever come out and actually said, "Yes, we're getting one in the future." So, like this last one that was in sort of June, I guess, or July, that was sort of out of
came out kind of nowhere. Yeah,
people are thinking like end of year, Christmas, New Year's type thing, and so that one came out of nowhere. But to have that assurance that it will be coming, I mean, it's painful to keep hoarding, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll survive. We always have.
So, just
channeling my best Janeway there.
Before we talk about crew, we won't carry on too much longer. We'll talk about the crew and we'll go. But just to sort of recap of what Ben went over, we are not getting lower decks anytime soon. From what he infers, this is very much sort of a compromise between, from what he said about the Adira issue. This is a licensing thing and also sort of internal development. So I can understand they're sort of being begrudged there.
Yeah. So from what I understand with that, it sounds similar to what they deal with over at Star Trek Adventures, which is the tabletop, where it was a big thing that Discovery and Picard licenses. Now we can make content for those shows. It's possible it's a case of Lower Decks is like a completely separate license they have to renegotiate with, and they're looking at sort of projected what can we make out of this, what crew might be, like best sold. It's a case of maybe it's just not cost effective at the moment, or the investment of time to make an art. That's a good medium between the two styles is a bit tricky to do.
I can see as well, because Lower Decks has some problems with international distribution. It's only now coming out in January, so there might be sort of a bit of legalese behind the scenes that sort of says, okay, it needs to be on international streaming for X amount of time before you can start releasing crew. I don't know. Obviously, it's been different for Discovery Season 3, but we've also had confirmation that the distress call is not coming anytime soon. That's sort of been, there's no timeline for it just yet. It's still in sort of their back end phases. There is 2 new currencies coming. Thank you, Commander Sinclair, for actually deciphering that on stream. So there's a quantum currency, which people saw in the files on the forum. There's also Instellar Medium. Something along the lines of getting new ways of getting crew. I'm just reading my notes that I've made here. Mini events have been deprioritized, which is a bit of a shame because we think we did enjoy the experimentation there, but hopefully they will bring that back. There is 2. Go on.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he said upcoming soon they were going to try to initialize that, having an event live while the next one is announced in the event hub. So that's because it's been, since they added, it's sort of been a shell. All it's been is one extra click, and I understand it's a little tedious. So it sounds like we're going to start getting some functionality for that soon.
Yeah, so there's going to be sort of 2 events and a bit more sort of like, and I meant to ask him, and the question that I forgot was, will we be able to pull? Will we be able to sort of pull on past packs? Because I think that's what people thought. We could go 6 or 7 event back and then try and get that gold we couldn't get yet. But I forgot.
Well, I think he said last time he was here, their goal was for us to be able to pull next week's pack so that we have time to level the crew and get them ready to use in the event. So.
Importantly, a little bit overshadowed, event structures are changing, as are the rank structures as well. So I think from what he says, they're going to sort of change the size of the rank structures and make them a little bit smaller. So
a little bit narrower,
yeah, a little sort of maybe 1,001 500 will be 1,001 200, 1,200 is 1,300 maybe. So, and there'll be sort of a bit more flexibility there for them to change that, and that is changing in February.
I'm curious if that's going to come with different rewards too, because right now the rewards are sort of static from 1,500 to 26.
Essentially,
they add 25 more dilithium, 25
a little bit,
more
a few more
merits.
merit.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
each tick. So I wonder if that's
Yeah.
going to come with new rewards too.
Interesting. We also have, and again, as well as the new feature coming in quarter one, coming in February, essentially. In quarter two, quarter three, there will be more coming to that feature. So they have, although he said he wasn't committing to a roadmap, we do have a kind of a roadmap of where this new feature is going. So there is plans for additions to the feature. It's not like Voyagers where they release the Voyagers and then they go, right, that's it for the game. There is more coming to this feature. Which is interesting once we find out some more details about it. Mako Mayweather is our 1000th crew.
Man, they could have given us 50 questions, and I don't think I would have gotten there. I'm like, well, it definitely won't be Enterprise, and if it is, it definitely won't be Mayweather.
You got to think Enterprise. Okay, it's got to be Archer. 1000 crew. Like, nope. Okay, fine. No time frame for Carlos to be announced. Sorry, go on.
+1 Mirror Crew.
+1 Mirror Crew. +1 Mayweather.
Look at the bright side. He'll be the new #1 Voyager.
So
shortly. I'm sure they'll do something to justify it.
We now have to prioritize getting Boomer Collection as March's collection. If there's not going to, next month's going to be, the next 2 months are going to be occupied. Anyway, so on top of that, there's going to be a new collection for January, a new collection for February. There is no plans to replay events, and there is going to be a new Grudge avatar, the Darbo sale. There's going to be a new portal-themed change, so hold on to your premium portals.
Yeah,
please.
And that should be announced in 2 days, he said, on Friday.
Exactly, yeah.
And then implemented the next week.
And we're getting a Klingon collection, which is one of the most...
I'm very happy about that. My honor of wars will come in handy, finally.
Yes.
And most importantly, he's getting married. So congratulations to Ben, who just popped up in chat.
Congratulations to Ben. Yeah, to point out that there will be rewards in the ranked rewards that we have never seen before.
Ooh.
Which is, that's something, that's an expectation, sir, so...
Hold on. We glazed over his marriage just to talk about ranked rewards. Come on, that's not fair.
If you think about it, marriage is a ranked reward in its own right.
That's more like playing the gauntlet, you know.
I don't know. Is your wife around? Do I need to tell her about that one?
Okay.
So moving on.
Very briefly, before we go, let's talk about this week's crew. We have Kevin Uxbridge has joined us because I need to go to the toilet and I need you guys to talk about something for a change. So let me turn this off.
My 1 liter giant beer can is almost empty.
I was laughing so hard every time you just had this huge beer can. You was like chugging off in the background. I couldn't stop
have this. I tried to get Ben on last. We asked him what end of November. I said, Ben, you got to come on in December. I have very special beer plans. So all the
very
people
special beer plans.
Well, it is. Everyone who's come over since is, they look at the advent calendar like, oh, how come we haven't opened it yet? And I can't say, some guys are going to come on to talk about the mobile game, and I'm saving it for that.
It was so valiant of you. You struggled through for us. We appreciate it.
Okay, Idle, you go do your thing.
Listen, Kevin Uxbridge, Side Dipsack, please go. I'm going to the toilet.
This is a crew that people have been asking for as long as I've been playing. They have a big long thread, hundreds of pages on WRG's forums, and a lot of people have been asking for Kevin Uxbridge. So for me, it's a disappointment. I lean more toward Voyage crew. He has a big base, and the question that follows is for which events. Now, he has a pretty eclectic group of traits: telepath, Dowd, botanist, shapeshifter. It's like we'll never see this group of traits again, but that doesn't amount to much because I don't think he's had. Okay, he's had 2 events. Romantic.
I think one of them is
introductory.
romantic. Yeah.
So I for daily shuttles, he's great, but beyond that, I mean, this is after A.G. Robinson, who we had a couple months ago. This is the worst debut Voyage rank of any 3-skill gold that we've had. So if you fuse them up right away, you could probably make a few runs with them, but I don't think that'll last very long. So
yeah, the sort of utility I'm seeing here is similar to Picard #1, but the difference between those, in terms of base utility, in terms of base purely, Because when you think of Picard, because follow with me here, right? What do you use a big base for? Well, primarily use it in events. Either it's bonus, in which case it will get you a massive amount of VP, or it's not bonus, in which case you can use it if it's like a heavy sec feature and there's not a lot of bonus crew. You can use a big base there. So that's the similarity, but that's where the similarities end. Because Picard has events, he has variants. Uxbridge will not. He has no gauntlet ability. He has, there's a difference about 200 voyage range between those two crew. No collections unless we're going to be getting a botanist connection, maybe.
And I have to say, and I'm checking this while I'm talking, he is one of 2 gold crew in the game whose proficiency does not change with level and gear. Normally, even from stray pieces of equipment, you'll get a 1 to 5 proficiency or 10 to 20 proficiency. His security proficiency is the same from level 1 when you get him to when he's fully immortalized. And that's a little strange. Only one other crew, Bellwright's Bashir, does that. So Shan on the forums, the community liaison / babysitter, has said that she is looking into that to see if that's an accident or not. So maybe the stats will change. If we do, of course, you'll hear about it here next week.
Yeah.
But that does sort of sandbag his voyage potential.
And it's also like the episode that he comes from is a bit of an odd one. Because it's very, very uniquely depressing and also sort of horrifying, even though it has some good memes that are born out of it. Good tea, nice house. But it's sort of a case of, spoilers for like a 20-year-old show. Kevin Uxbridge's main thing is he is a member of the Dowd, aka like a massive, like all-powerful race on par with the Q, with the Prophets, with Nagilum, the Metreons, the Organians, all of those kind of that kind of pantheon, right? And his sort of defining tragedy was that his wife Rishon, I believe her name is, was like killed in an attack by, I can't even remember the name of the other the alien race, the Husok. Yes, yeah. And he wiped them all out in a feat of anger. I think it was like 50 billion people just gone in an instant. And I think, okay, he's not sec primary.
Not only that, but his security is 8 to 18 proficiency.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I wouldn't even mind a small proficiency because proficiency is meant to represent like unpredictability. If you have a large amount of power and you can always guarantee that what will have to happen, that makes sense for a small proficiency. But that would also make more sense for a big base. Whereas here it's just tertiary.
It's interesting.
So I don't quite get the logic.
Yeah. In the episode, he has a phaser that's non-functioning, and I think that's one of his. That's definitely sort of one of his features in the episode. I think that maybe that's where they take that from, and they kind of go like, he doesn't want to hurt. He's done his big kill everyone. This is kind of a post sort of killing everyone.
Yeah,
sort of Kevin.
He's regretful, and like you say, the tragic nature of his character of the episode comes through the arena ability. Says you don't understand the scope of my crime. So he's sort of, treating Picard like Father Confessor and saying, they killed the love of my life and I lashed out in a fit of anger and they're all gone. So he regrets it deeply. So let's not get too into the weeds about what his sec proficiency should be. But as the crew, he's pretty polarizing. He has one great attribute in that big base, but the rest of the card, I think, lets him down a little bit.
Yeah, the only thing, because I haven't seen this episode in ages, is like I don't know if he ever because he has the shapeshifter trait. If he ever adopts a more Dowd-esque persona, like he changes appearance a little bit. I'm not sure if he does. At the end
of the episode, he turns into made of light or something.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting if maybe for this mini event, the second part was we get him turned into that, and that is more of a sec psi type mega crew, and this is sort of meant to represent him past his prime, where he's diminished in a way. I think that could be a thematically cool way of doing this crew, but whether or not they'll do that is entirely up to them.
Have we ever had crew that, because this, like you say, it's a mini story arc. And by the way, let's clarify. I think a few people have said, "Is it a mini event?" No, it's not a mini event. Don't expect the 7,000 dilithium or whatever. It's just that the story is linked between 2 episodes, which last happened in 2019 with that little Borg 2 event, that mini arc there.
As an aside,
I'm trying to think.
Sorry, go on.
Have they ever done a crew where, like, from the same episode or from a very similar time period that shows their evolution, like you're suggesting with the Dowd?
Oh, I
The
don't
only thing I
think
can
so.
think of is
They're usually almost completely unconnected, really.
yeah. I mean, the closest we got was Evolve Paris to Evolve Janeway, but that was through a fusion. We didn't get a direct.
The only thing I can really think of is like there was like Korea or Homecoming Burn or whatever she's called because the items are built or weird as that. And Booker and Grudge released very close to each other, and they had an event and thematic link because of how they are in the story. But that's not quite the same thing of evolving the character. I think that'd be a really cool little use of a mini arc to show that evolution, and it would also justify because this had the very alarming event text of the temporal anomaly is over, and a lot of people are like, is the game over? Is the game finished?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. People saying, this is the last Convergence day. They're shutting down the game. What is wrong with you? It's part of the story text. Come on. They're not going to tell you the game is ending through Convergence.
This is, guess what? Ben was asking how many people would care about, like, you know, like the story event. Apparently people cared about this one because they read that bit.
Oh, yeah, the story, except when the game is ending.
Yeah, I made the joke because Ben showed up in the Wicked Realm game. So I said, "Why would you invest in merchandise when you guys are shutting down the game next week?"
Clearly. So yeah, it would be a really cool use of it. It was a case of like, you know, he's diminished here, and then your job is to get him back up to full power, and then the second part is he goes out and changes the game, and maybe this is related to the new currency and new feature that Ben is talking about. That could be really cool, but I don't know. I don't work at Wicked Realm Games. I'm just spitballing, which is very easy to do. It's a lot harder to put this stuff into action.
Apparently so. Also this week is Gray, who from Season 3 of Discovery, the Trill host of the Tal Symbion, and we won't go into too many spoilers about his character here. However, Super Rare Crew you can get for 3 of 4 this week is Dip Command. 2 skill.
And pretty poor.
And very poor. Which is such a shame, because Gray's quite
I love the character.
Yes.
Yes. So, for those of you who haven't been keeping up with Discovery, like Gray is a recurring character despite the nature of his introductory episode. And he has a very cool role in relation to Adira, who is the other new character.
Is it a correction on? Is it they with? And apologies for pronouns because I always get them wrong. Is he?
It is they for Adira.
It is they for Adira, but is he for Gray?
He for Grey, yes.
It is he for Grey, so yeah, apologies, just clarifying.
Yeah. And the thing is, I really like the art. I think it's very evocative of like the character, and I like the sort of the pose. I think it would have been kind of cool if they could have gotten the cello that he plays in the episode in there, because I always love a car with a good prop. I love that. But it's possible we might get a variant down the road. Because as it is, this card isn't really great for much. Like, he has a good few traits. He has like Prodigy, Musician, Trill, and a few other bits and pieces, but the bases are not inspiring, and there's no gauntlet ability here. There's no collections.
I'm pretty sure there are Rare Crew, Blue Crew that are better or more useful. Well, definitely more useful, but as a command dip, he's...
I will say, if you're a new player, you've been playing for a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of months, and you found our stream, first of all, welcome.
Hello.
Second of all,
we're nerds.
I think Gray has a little bit of use there, because I have used what's his name, Herbert Rossoff, that Quark variant. He's a 2-skiller. He looks kind of mediocre, but he has a nice command proficiency, and I used him more than I thought I would on one of my younger accounts. So. His command proficiency is 200 to 400 unboosted. You know, with bonuses, you might get up close to 500. I can see a few people using them, but I think most of the longer term players they're just going to freeze him away as a dice roll for, like you said, Musician, Prodigy, Trill, and Romantic. He has a few traits that you might fall him for under those circumstances.
I think it's interesting because, you know, even if he does have those traits and falls on a Dip Command shuttle, it's the annoying factor of it being a faction event. Like, okay, we'll happily take a crap card in the Galaxy because we can get them 4 and 4 and freeze them and then bring them out when the traits come. But it's that annoying thing, kind of, do I airlock them or do I spend my monthly sight on them or do I pull a pack?
Yeah, no. I've seen a few VIP 0 players posting in chat just now. Are any of you VIP0 players spending your sight on him? Does the not great utilities scare you away from that, or do you just need the crew slot?
Yeah, I think I'll probably end up either pulling on this pack or like trying to spend it because like I'm very low on slots. In this case of it's out of love for the character, but not necessarily of the card.
I'm just tempted by the honor. I just want the. I love honor. I demand honor. Sorry, had to say it. Carry
on. So I have a thought, and I don't know if this is crazy. So we had to mix up with Adira, which was like resolved very satisfactorily, but I wonder if Grey was meant to be like a fusion ingredient for an Adira.
This theory, I have heard this theory,
and I feel like it makes a lot of sense. Like there's usually a thematic link to be tied between like fusion crew, like the Binars or the Evolved Janeway or the Indignant Seven and Mobile Doctor, and I feel like this one would have made sense. But I wonder if maybe it was a case of this card was going to be uninspiring on its own, but when paired with an Adira, they would form a greater whole. And then they had to abandon that plan because of the snafu.
Are you thinking that EDF Adira and Grey would turn into Tau Adira? Which would make
possibly
logical,
like
the
they
logical
two
sense.
4 stars together to make a 5-star, but
Well,
EDF Adira
what Ben told us is that it is a licensing issue and that one had to come before the other. So if that were true, EDF before Tau, I could see them fusing one into the other, but with everything that happened, I mean, people bought packs, people returned them through customer support tickets, all that. I think to try to go ahead with a fusion now would be a recipe for disaster.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that might have been the original plan, but obviously that's been like knocked on the head because it's just like that would only further add to the conflagration, as it were. But I wonder if that's why this crew is a little bit uninspiring, is because there were other plans, and now it's a bit of an artifact from a previous, a plan for the events. That's pure supposition. I have nothing to support that. Just a thought.
90% of this show is supposition.
Yeah, absolutely.
These could be useful cards.
And drinking. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, let's pep things up with the giveaway for the 5-year.
Oh yes, this week, this month, you can claim yourself a Luau Paris. Very festive, drinking out of his pineapple there. Not only can you get the 1 of 5-star crew for free, you can get another 3 stars for free in the achievements by completing Gauntlet, Shuttle, and Voyage Dilemma missions.
Voyage Dilemmas, yes.
Yeah, you've got a month. Literally, it ends on the 3rd of February. Plenty of time to get those in. Even if you're the most casual player, it won't take you long to get them. And he is despite Dip Command Sec, very sort of very common sort of arrangement of I've lost ability to speak now. I've had too much wine. A very common skill set. He is still rank Voy number 23. Please, guys, speak for me because I cannot anymore.
That just means we're hitting the prime on the show. After 2 hours, it all goes. It's all uphill, baby.
Yeah, if idle source, that means it's been a good show. Yeah. So this is like kind of like the prime example of what you kind of want out of a Command Dipset crew, in that he is a main cast variant, specifically a character who gets a ton of faction work. He has extremely good voyage metrics, he has very useful bases, and he has a really, really hard to complete complexion spot. So if you compare him to someone like, say, I'm trying to think of someone, maybe this is an unflattering comparison, but someone like Sinister Picard, where it's a case of like, similar skills get different order.
He's great.
Which one would you?
About?
He's great, but I think if it came down to brass tacks and I asked you which would you rather have, a raw Sinister Picard out of a Behold or a 4 out of 5 Luau Paris, I think you would probably say Luau Paris. I've stumped you. There you go. I win.
my question to that is, for those that getting him at 4 or 5, like bearing in mind, quite a fair few people, obviously free to play excluded, would have got determined Paris on his campaign. For those who are getting 4 or 5, will you put that sight on him? And you guys as well. I'm not entirely sure, because I do have my 5/5 Paris. I sighted him as soon as I got him. So Luau Paris is less of a concern for me. I know for VIP0, a lot of people are like, hell yeah, I'm putting a sight on him. I'm using my next 50,000 honor on him, definitely, because he fills that gap.
I think these last 2 hours may have changed things, because we were told honor sale is not coming immediately.
Not yet.
And we have this big feature next month. Maybe it comes in March, maybe not. So, I mean, how long do you want to save? I'm sure you can. Most people can afford to part with 50,000 and maybe save the rest if they really like this card. And he's useful in several areas, and you get him for 4 or 5. So, I would never. I wouldn't say to anyone don't side him, but there's sort of a dichotomy in value here because people, veteran players who have a deep roster, the only thing he's really offering you that you may not have enough of yet is Diplomat. And for 1 star, that's useful, but Command IPSec, like, this is, I think, the 4th Paris variant in a row without any med. And, we had handfuls of episodes where he's working with Doc, he's doing triage, he's a medic in Voyager. I would have loved to see a little med in there to spice things up, to really drive home the celebration point, to make it a crew that you absolutely are thrilled to get. And I don't know if that skill set quite does it. So I can see a few players passing on him, but for 4 or 5, he won't be in the portal probably for over a year. For the Diplomat, which most people don't have done, for the events, 15 events to date, 10 of them faction, for the good voyage power, like there's so many reasons to do it and a few to not do it. So
yeah, so sort of to add on your point, like I think this particular episode they're in like because in Voyager they have this tendency to have like a holo program that they really enjoy doing, and then they do it for like 1 or 2 seasons and then they drop it. Yeah. So in like season 1 it's Janeway's Lucille Davenport program, yes. And then it's Chandrine's and Lord Berlin's children. God, that's so stupid.
Oh God, there's that episode where who is it? That caretaker, like the really old, the sour.
She tries to knife Janeway. Yeah,
she like comes out of the holodeck and starts chasing around the ship. That was such a weird.
It's so weird.
You guys need to listen to the Delta Flyers.
This Paris. Yeah. Oh God, I can imagine. This Paris. Oh, I'll have to watch that. This Paris comes from when they're doing the Polynesian massage resort, I believe it is. And that, yeah, you say it would have been a prime, like even if it was only a tertiary med, like that would have massively improved like the desirability, like that kind of like skill set on a Voyage 23 with a Paris. That would have been.
I would have excused med if they just said, yeah, he's got a pineapple. Fruit is good for you, med.
The pineapple's the only thing that adds med throughout his entire equip. I'd love that.
I went back and checked. It looks like Tourist Quark is wearing a very similar shirt. Certainly, that should imbue him with some kind of medical prowess, right?
Okay, so we've been talking about how much we enjoyed them adding the flavor text back on. I love that they go to the effort of specifying this is a Big Daddy-O special. I think he even specialized in the essence like a 1962 pineapple shirt, and it's like he goes for like full Americana nerd on that stuff. So it would have been nice, but he's still like let put it this way: if you were playing long enough to have like a 4 out of 5 minuet on your roster, and you've been thinking, should I freeze her to freeze? No, freeze this guy. If you get like even just like cite him up, there are far worse cards that you've probably eyed up for citation than this one. Let's be real.
I do like the callbacks they do. There's the 37s where the old red rusted truck where Paris is talking about combustion engines. There's vis-a-vis where you have Steph and he's working on his 1967 Camaro, and Taurus calls it a Camaro because she's never heard of it before. So like they sprinkle in these little ancient references that are contemporary for us, and I do like it.
Always makes me laugh when they say, what you're listening to is like, oh, I'm listening to the Beastie Boys. Oh, it's just classical music. It just makes me chuckle like, yeah, okay, but no, yes, but no.
Yeah, that's fair. Yes, but actually no.
Okay, so hold on, give me a thumbs up, because I heard someone say that they don't like the face, which the smirk is a little weird. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down on the art.
I'm gonna go thumbs up. I like it. I think
I'm gonna go sort of in the middle in that, like, it looks like Robert Duncan Manil. But if I compare it to say Determined Paris or Delta Flyer Paris, I do think the face is a little bit off. I don't know quite what it is, but it's just a case of like
he's a bit
Stars. I asked you thumbs up or thumbs down,
and I went like that.
That wasn't one of the options.
Okay, you know what? I'll go like that.
Arena.
Yeah.
This gladiator is before you. He has performed somewhat to your expectations. Do you send him to the lions, or does he fight another day?
All right, he'll drag it out of me.
He is a little on the chunky side for Paris, I think. I think this is plus 10 years Paris, maybe, but...
It's a Big Daddy-O Paris, in fact.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you go.
No, very good. You can get him, quite a few of him, and you know what, 3, 4, or 5, not going to complain at that rank. For any rank, Voyage rank 23, useful in any roster. Like you say with Sinister Picard, like, okay, it's common, but he's a lot more elusive than Luau Paris.
Someone made the point on the forum, which I hadn't considered, and this is a great point. The reason why a lot of these widely available crew are command IPSec is you can do that. You can give a great crew, objectively great crew, to newer players, and it will help them a lot without compromising long-term players that have put a lot of resources and time and money into the game. Like if you give away like the best skill set in the game, #1 Voyager, blah blah blah, that sort of does invalidate the people who have put a lot of investment into the game. But a crew like this benefits everyone without taking the knees out from anyone who's been working hard to try to get the best of the best. So from that point of view, I do like that. I think he fits that role of giveaway very well, even if I'd like a little more med.
Yeah.
Just from chat, Brian Healy, I literally cited him the minute I heard no honor sale. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the logic there. Yeah, I can definitely. Although, like, is it weird that like Ben said, we're pushing this big feature in February, and he said maybe like it's like so March then. And it's like, no, don't do that. Don't hear
we cannot
an unconnected sentence and be like, so it means this. No, we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, so for those unaware, when we do have Ben on, we give him a list of questions so that he can get an answer, so he can check with his boss, say, what can I share on the stream, what can't I share? But we end up, after every question, asking like 3 follow-up questions.
I really was not expecting to play 20 questions with Ben tonight. That was absolutely unplanned. It was just like, see if you guys can guess. Yes, all right, let's do this.
Well, he knew no one would guess new gold Mayweather for the 1,000th crew, so I think that was a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, I had to say, other people were guessing, maybe it'll be like a fun like homage to Gene Roddenberry, which is why I asked, is this character in Star Trek? And he was like, you seem confused by that question. I was like, I don't want to waste the question, so...
Is it someone we'll want? No. Okay.
Is it a Wesley variant?
Hey, Mayweather had an earring in this episode that's the most personality he had in the entire show.
That's true.
All right. Okay, it's been many hours since we started this show. I think it's time we wrap things up. Thank you very much to everyone that came to chat. Just a reminder, yet again, Ben will be back hopefully in a month, depending on house move things. I will hopefully get my internet sorted if I do move house at the wrong time. If not, we'll work something out. But there will be a live demonstration on this show of the new feature, and we will keep you updated. We'll be back next week. For anyone wanting to submit questions for next time, because we will do another Q&A session, please email through to timelinestalks@gmail.com. Also, message myself or Automaton2000 there on the forums or on the Discord. Join Timelines Discord. Lots of helpful people there. From myself, last comments, guys.
Well, we also have coming up already recorded, just me this time because the holidays have been really crazy, another citation advice show. So I think that's coming either late this week or maybe early next week.
Heads up, but because of lockdown, I'm working from home a little more. So usually I work on these site shows in a quiet period in work. So with 2 screaming children around me, I might not have as much time. I will try and get it done this week. We'll see. You've done your bit. It's my turn.
Daddy has to work. He has to. No, you understand. There's a few citations. No.
In fact, let me find the names in case they are watching now. Maximus Prime, Prime Res, and Gazoo.
Yes. Your site shows are coming.
Yeah, I know it's been a while since you guys have submitted it, but
we've got a bit of time now. Site show honor sale is not happening anytime in the next couple of months, so but yes, as soon as I get those edited, we'll stick them straight up on the YouTube channel, please. And I've never said this in the entirety of the show. Like and subscribe. Please go and check it out. But I think we'll call it here. From myself, from Auto, from Stars, and thank you very much to Wicked Rom Games, to Ben, to Shan, to everyone for coming to support us, and everyone, thank you very much. We will see you next week as usual, and ta-ra!